Hi, hey, hello, and welcome to Power Word Play, a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition live stream where we normally would be saving the world from the wrath of Tiamat. However, tonight we are doing an I Can't Make Wednesday because we all need some mental recoup.
And because we thought that we couldn't make Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then
But then we did.
And then we actually did make Wednesday.
Yeah.
And I don't have my laptop, so can't play.
So this is happening.
This is what you get, folks. Us at our finest.
So yeah, we're just gonna sit around and chat because we got stuff to unload. It's been a lot these last couple of episodes. Some stuff happened, and some heavy emotional stuff also occurred with like RP and stuff too. So yeah. Stuff. A lot of stuff.
But should we maybe show off our little surprise?
Should we start with it?
I feel like we should, yeah.
Okay, yeah. We got another little surprise to show off.
Lady Tiamat whispers, her children fly north. No virtue will stop them. Send the sins forth. So now we gotta find a way to work that into every stream.
Yeah, where's the break?
Oh, yeah.
It looks so official.
It looks good.
That's great.
So I have something cool to say. That was all Janelle learning Adobe After Effects.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Never used it
awesome.
before. We had a little help with the graphics because I've done graphics for like 30 years, but but the whole animation thing,
No,
I don't
that's
know how to
awesome.
use Adobe After Effects. So
Yeah.
that was all Janelle.
I woke up one day and I was like,
This
yeah,
must be done.
I can software. I've softwared.
Yeah.
Warm soft.
You won shit out of it.
Girl boss.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And I like that everybody's kind of like personalities comes through a little bit, and so it's like half character, a little bit half person. I love it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Being our nerdy ass selves.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of the joy of what we've done so far, though, is it's all just been super small scale, just whatever we ourselves can contribute to what we're doing. And so, you know, Janelle makes our intro. I've been responsible for a lot of the recording. Like Darryll, that set that we just finished of Two Hills there, that was all your handcrafty work.
That was crazy.
And a lot of minis and
Tons of minis,
Yeah.
that too. I think because of the high emotions from the way that battle ended, we didn't get a chance to properly thank you for all that work
Yeah.
you did.
Yeah, that was a lot.
Yeah.
And it made it way more immersive. I don't think it would have been the
Yeah.
same if it would have been like a flat map. Or even like the digital map is cool, but
It's not the same.
Yeah.
I hated that map, but for other reasons.
I know.
Yeah.
Just for the fact of like,
Digital cobblestones.
Just running around.
well, that is, as painstaking as that was, it was still like I enjoyed doing that. For me, it was, man, getting around that damn thing was fucking rough.
There's
Like,
a lot of space there.
We gotta talk about that later because that was
Yeah.
that was a rough one.
But
yeah.
yeah, you're doing
No.
great with the minis and
And like I
everything. And
have some other stuff that I want to run by you with ideas. I don't know if the situation is one we'll run into, but it's just stuff that's popped into my head of like, ooh, I want to try and make this. Let's see what I can make. And like I told Janelle too, like if you guys have any suggestions for things that you might want to possibly see, or we've even talked like, get me an STL file and we can.
Right, because we have
We have a
fancy
printer now.
new 3D
Yeah.
printer.
So I can
So,
create us, as long as I don't botch the print.
yeah, totally. But not to give
No.
credit all the way around the table too, but
Yeah.
like Kenny also sourced out the music
That was
we used
awesome.
here,
That was
which
awesome.
is great.
I loved it.
And made the logo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. And Amy obviously has been taking the lead on like our social,
All
which
of
is
the
kind of
social
neat too.
media,
Yeah, I'm super glad to be totally disconnected from the social.
I think
Yeah.
that is the most work.
Yeah.
You would think
'Cause it's
each
constant.
app, especially two apps that are owned by the same company, would work the same way.
No.
They don't. And as a 32-year-old,
No
I'm a bit
cross-platform.
lost, but I'm figuring it out. So,
Oh, you Zuckerberg.
You know he got hacked
Yeah.
because his password was da 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 da. I'm not even
that's
kidding.
probably not
Wow.
true.
It was the security training I just took, but yeah, just like
Darryl's like, I saw it on Reddit, okay?
Yeah.
it's true.
From
Really
throwaway
online.
8769. They know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah, we're all doing our part to contribute, and obviously Josie with the whole story thing that we're playing. So
Just that little piece.
Yeah.
yeah.
Just a wee bit.
That's how I like to feel about it. It's just something. It's a little part.
I love how you like to pretend that you're going to run pre-made content, and then like maybe about 20 seconds into the first attempt of the session, you're like, nope, this is gonna be homebrewed in whatever direction.
I'm just waiting for the paper to go. Whee!
Did you say you haven't even cracked the book yet?
Yeah, for running the Rise of Tiamat module, I've taken very little from Rise of Tiamat.
I gave you that a while ago, didn't I?
Yeah. I mean, like in my like understanding of it, there were some things I wanted to do because we didn't do Horde of the Dragon Queen beforehand, right? So like, there are some things I wanted to set up that would kind of operate in similar to in the story, which I think I've kind of done, which is nice.
I like ours better.
Yeah, and like looking at the modules, like there's only parts I would actually want to take from that. None of that has come up yet.
Which is, hey, it's fitting for us. We are not the fastest group in the world.
Yeah.
No.
We take a long time to get from point A to point B.
Yeah.
How many months is it like in life to
Yeah,
get
one?
from from like Forest Edge to Two Hills?
Yeah,
was
Vajra told
like,
us we had to be back in 2 weeks, and
and
like
it's
8
like-
months later, it's almost been 2 weeks.
I don't even think it's been a full week.
No, it has.
Has it?
I can
Okay.
go back and count,
Hopefully.
but it's at least been 1 week.
DM scrolling through the notes
Yeah.
that has been.
Whatever.
Yeah,
Don't know.
I can look it up. This is why I take notes.
It's been about 4 months since we ended Forest Edge and started Two Hills. Maybe a little bit longer than that, actually.
But there was a few. Oh no, when did Vajra told? Anyways, whatever.
It was
5
one,
months.
yeah.
5 months. Yeah.
I don't know.
Because we were a good solid while meandering towards.
Yeah, we did take our time getting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did things.
well, there was pools.
Yeah, there was
grandparents.
pools. There was getting
Grandparents.
fucked over by the Fae.
The dolphins.
The dolphins.
We lost our dolphin blood
Yeah, it
with
got
the death of a
evaporated.
character.
Wouldn't
That's the part I'm least sad about.
Wouldn't it be
I'm
considered
sad about also-
magical though? Magical creature, magical blood.
Magical item. Like, I don't know. We didn't really talk about it in the last session, but like, Eon had a lot of magical items. You've got a
We're
whole.
gonna have to work through that.
Yeah, you've got a whole like catalog now. She hoarded them.
I do have your strong
Oh, you do have them?
gauntlets. Yeah,
Okay.
I do have them.
Oh God.
You've got the gauntlets, but
Yeah.
you've also got like the intellect headband that she was wearing as like a leg circlet. And
Lyrian
what else? There's the displacer. There's the javelin. There's the wind fan.
Trident to fish
There's-
command.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's the trident.
Yeah, I gave it to
And, yeah.
And your cannon.
Yeah, tons of potions.
Yeah. Yeah. What the? Here we all are like getting mangled, and here's Eon just like. We all blame Scree, and it's really Eon going,
Yeah.
oh yeah, bad Scree, bad.
All those chests of gold.
They're in my bag of holding.
they're just there.
They're just there.
So, question: how much of an inventory have you kept with the bag of holding?
Like how much stuff
Like-
do I have?
Like, have you kept a rec?
Like, are you writing it?
Oh
down?
yeah.
Yeah.
Of
Kind of.
everything?
Somewhat.
Like I do have like my bag of holding has stuff
Okay.
in it.
Okay.
And you-
Because that's something I've never been sure of. There's a lot of times where we're just like, here you go, Scree, and we just forget about things.
No, I have things.
Okay.
I don't know how accurate it is, but
You've
Yeah.
tried at least?
I
I
have.
could at least get track of the money. You know the exact money?
No. Yes, kind of. Like for certain things, when Josiah tells me how much gold something is, I will write it down. But I have like a lot of things that I'm like, where did this come from? I have like 3 urns.
You stole those when we were in the vault.
You write down stuff you shouldn't have.
Oh.
You
Yeah. Scree's like, Scree took this.
I had a bone from I had Grinda's aunt's bone or something like that from
yeah.
that vault.
Yeah,
Same
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
And that's destroyed. I was definitely going to use
Oh.
that for something someday. I don't know what.
Yeah.
Well, there's also your multi-tool.
Yeah.
Also the multi-tool. There's other things too.
How much shit did you have?
I kept everything. I never sold anything.
Jesus Christmas.
We don't do shopping episodes.
No, we have not
But-
actually
but,
had
like-
like a whole.
So all of the gems are those aren't magic items.
No.
So
they'd be moved.
we've lost thousands of gold.
I have a lot of gems.
Yeah.
Will I share them?
Nope.
I think I would be surprised if you did.
The
Yeah.
bombs are
Yeah.
probably magic items though. So the gems that had been tinkered
it.
into
Yeah, we'll
bombs
have to
are
ask
probably
the
magic
DM.
That's a-
So much stuff anyway. So much stuff.
Your next horde character may not be a hoarder.
We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know.
We're only one episode in.
No, we did.
I will say that the graphic, which will be a surprise to the people watching, that you've made for this new character, because the vibe that I got from the character was like this super outgoing, happy person, like you said, still
I love
learning.
that.
And then when you showed the graphic, which everyone's gonna see in a little bit, was like I was like that gave me Miss Frizzle vibes. I'm like, yeah, then I was like
That's
that
what
kind
it
of fit the
is.
personality.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Again, like for anyone, Loren has
outstanding artwork.
has done
Insane.
all of our character artwork,
Yeah.
and it's just they're all like out of the park.
To the detail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
It is.
Out
very
of the
good.
park.
I think they will have seen it once, because in the first episode I'll show.
Oh, good.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Which they'll have seen by
Yeah.
the time this airs. So yeah, that's cool. They'll have seen it, and yeah, I'm actually really happy with how
That way,
each
it's
have turned out.
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It was a hard one to make because only because I was so attached to Eon.
Yeah.
And it was hard to be like, this is my wife's new character now,
Yeah.
and I have to draw it in like 3 weeks.
No time crunch whatsoever. You're good.
And it doesn't matter how much you love Eon, you got to make this still. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So maybe we should back up so that we can talk about that because I think I can't remember the I can't make Wednesday where we left off, but it was definitely before Two Hills, wasn't it?
It was in the middle.
In the middle of Two Hills.
It was. I can look right now, actually, because I was.
But so we haven't talked about all the stuff in the mines and everything,
Correct.
That's
I'm
right.
sure,
Yeah.
and all of that kind of thing.
Fucking rocks have fallen.
Yeah, rocks have fallen, which
Yeah.
is nonsense and hilarious.
Yep.
So.
David. Hats off to David and
Yeah. It was-
Doric.
Door.
Oh my
Shout
god! Like
out.
Yeah.
a character solely built to mess with you.
Yeah.
Was that always
Like,
the
and it
intention
really
though? Like Loren, like for him to like have a love story with you though? Was
If
that...
it was,
Triangle.
I was not involved.
Well, I rewatched obviously a lot to find the clips, and I got to that because I missed when Doric was introduced. I wasn't here,
Oh, yeah.
and then the next episode I was. So we're in the house, and then the robots came, and then Sola's just like, "Oh yeah, this is my husband," and that kind of seemed to me when it started. But...
Right. No, it was happening before then. That
Oh,
was
okay.
Sola suddenly needing to come up with a cover story.
Okay. Okay. So the marriage part didn't start till like that episode.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just thinking,
No,
again,
this was
bringing
like
Eon and
I don't know.
Ramsey.
Was it your
Seems
idea?
like-
Was it David's idea?
Was it always an idea? Is my question actually.
It was always like,
Yeah.
well, no, it was
Yeah.
something we worked on where David and I talked a little bit because we were like, we want to bring in a one shot because he would. The thing was like he was.
Yeah.
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 He's gonna be in for like a few like one session or whatever in person, and he needed a character. And he was like, how do I tie in a character to where we're at? And I'm like, well, you're in Two Hills, so you could be a gnome, and make it easy. Like, maybe you and Sola went to school together. And that's all I said.
Really?
Or something along those lines.
So it really just came out of like the RP
So the
and like the
seeds of
improv.
chaos were
Yeah.
laid.
He expanded the shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
He did.
He did. Yeah.
So yeah, the whole love triangle thing, I had no idea it was happening until he threw
Because
it at me.
we kind of forced fizzle on you, I feel, right? Like we kind of started the fizzle thing. So
Right?
Yeah.
Also that. And
Yeah.
same thing, Sola, no idea.
So here's the question: why is everyone so determined to make Loren cosplay roleplay romance as a female character?
I feel like it's solely because I said I didn't want to do it.
Why I don't say shit.
It's like, target acquired.
Josie has tried to push that storyline on me though too, where it's like certain guards at camps like had a
Oh yeah.
but Rhaenyra is not as kind as Sola is, and she just like shut it
And then I
down.
would steal something.
Yeah. And they're like, your best friend just stole a bunch of shit from me.
It's the honey.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
But in the end, it did like
Oh, it was.
spawn a whole bunch of really funny moments.
Yeah,
For sure.
really great.
And
For sure.
it was actually great watching Sola squirm. It was less comfortable for me, but it was fun to watch. So
David and Loren are brother-in-laws, by the way.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
Get
so there's
weird.
that extra.
Don't
element.
get weird.
He really embraced
Great.
it. He really embraced it though, and he's an actor by trade, kind of. So he really threw himself into it, and
That's yeah.
That's a nice way of saying it.
It was fun to have him back at the table because
Yeah.
I guess they wouldn't have seen DK.
DK.
Right?
Right.
So David used to
That
play
was his
with
previous
us
character.
as
Oh, really?
DK, as you'll hear us making fun of DK all the time. But then, he left, and so it was fun to have him.
Yeah.
yeah, our only regret is that he can't come and play with us more often.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Obviously, like we made it work for quite a long time with him on a screen beside me.
Yeah.
But like it's way better when he's in person.
Yeah, it always
All that
is.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's,
You can't engage as much when you're not at
It's-
the table.
Yeah, it's tough when there's an online lag
yeah.
Mhm.
and
Mm-hmm.
you're talking through a mic, and
Yeah.
we have a camera that he can
Yeah.
look through to see most of us, but even that interaction is not the same as being in person. So
Well, it's just that you feed off the energy, like the speech the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Like that there is just like
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
you feel. You're not just listening to it; you feel it.
Mhm.
You like,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
yeah,
Totally.
I don't know if we dare delve into that yet. We're not.
No,
We're not.
I'm
on
not
script.
there. Not there yet.
We're not there yet.
No, but we go into
Yeah.
the mine.
Yeah.
Lots of crazy things. I'm pretty sure you gave us worms just so we could use Lauren's stupid worm minis that I stopped making flesh
No,
monsters.
never. No.
Just stop it. We don't need any more flesh monsters. Like, should we show the flesh monster wall of shame?
It's up there.
I'll send pictures.
You got some more?
That was kind of fun too, though, because I don't think any of us really knew what we were
It wasn't some.
heading to.
Yeah, and what I loved it wasn't so much just like run up whack. It was like
Yeah.
oh crap, can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it's
Yeah.
can't touch the floor.
Yeah, and then started and then as we were getting like deeper into the mine too, and it started to be like a little bit horror, like body
Yeah.
horror and that kind of stuff. That was really
Right.
uncomfortable.
There's all kinds of
Yeah.
like mangled
Yeah.
corpses
Yeah,
of the dwarves that we thought we were going to save,
yeah,
and crazy like blood magic stuff happening, which obviously like is not so put off by, but the rest of us probably more so.
I thought there was gonna be more alive people in there though.
I
Yeah.
thought we'd actually come by
Yeah.
I was
But it-
expecting to save people.
that
Yeah.
As Sola.
elf.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That the gold veined, or the hill. First off, though, the hill.
Yeah.
Like,
My side of madness and mud.
like the Laurel and Hardy show, just like
I lifted up Sola eventually.
yeah,
Eventually.
like,
Yeah.
all the people who succeeded had no business succeeding.
Yeah,
in that.
that's true. Yep. You're like Ramsey and Sola were like, we'll go up first. I'm like, are you sure? I was like, I think that maybe there's another team more capable.
How high could the DC be? Really? It was high.
And I'm hoping, I'm like, okay, Sola's pretty strong. And like, she can help Ramsey up, and then it's like, why is Ramsey up here and you're down there? This doesn't work this way.
Again, no offense intended, Loren, but Sola is heavy. She's got a lot of armor that's got that high AC. Took me 2 rolls to get her up.
Actually,
For a gnome. For a gnome.
not so much.
Not now.
With the new armor.
Less so now? Yeah.
Yeah.
Your new armor is way lighter.
That's right.
In comparison, like probably like half as heavy.
Could you fly with your wings too?
She did.
I can. I have done it once.
Yeah.
There you go.
To get the little satchel that was floating off
Yeah,
the
right,
space
right.
there.
Right. That's right.
And it turned out that was on the same day that we had our big battle, and I was like,
Yeah.
later on, I was thinking, oh man, I wish I would have kept that flying.
Yeah, that might have been handy.
Yeah. Anyway,
I will say now too, like when we were making our way back up and out, and like when we found the dwarf, man, Ramsey almost took his head off. Like he was just so
yeah,
tempted.
you were in a bad state at that
Yeah, you're in a
time.
bad mood.
Like
Yeah.
even like both you, like Sola and Ramsey, had some pretty bad trips in that freaking line.
Yeah, I guess
Like,
so.
Well, you not so much. You got to meet some cool people, and Ramsey just kind of went.
Well, it was like you were getting pulled.
Yeah.
Both of you were getting pulled to that lowest floor in that encounter with that elf, who I will not name yet.
Because that is yet to come. In some fashion.
Foreshadowing.
But the mine's, like, speaking of foreshadowing, though, like, also connected, like, mine and Sola's story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's mine has always been, like, hinted, but completely unrelated to everything else that everything's happening.
That was really nice to finally have like a little bit more information about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, a tangible
Yeah.
connection of
Yeah.
some kind.
Yeah, I mean, like, a horrible one that I think is not going to be good for us, considering what just happened as well. But, what I hope will actually be horrible for me in my character development.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, you hear that laugh? You hear that? That's the gigs. He's got the gigs.
Well,
Yeah.
I look at like for me, it just raises questions like, why the hell were those like, of all
Yeah.
the places that those crates?
It
could
wasn't
have been.
fucking liquor, and
Oh,
it
I
wasn't
know.
pop.
Yeah.
It was something else. Yeah. I swear you said it was like pop and liquor.
Just a little.
Yeah. Or look.
Just a liquid.
Sorry, it
yeah.
looked like pop.
like-
Yeah.
You didn't investigate.
Yeah. But,
Yeah, we didn't
well,
have
I had a bit of a moment, just like these two had, and destroyed it.
Yeah.
As I do that.
No. Fair.
Yeah, that's actually kind of interesting. It's like it's almost like every single one of our characters is closer to the edge of sanity than we realize. Because every time we are faced with something from
Except for
our
Screech.
Screech is stable and through.
Fine.
In a weird way, Scree is the most stable.
Yeah,
Scree.
That is true.
It's just
How the
chaos.
turntable.
Screech's the chillest one
Yeah.
of all of us.
Well.
For now.
Yeah, maybe Screech just hasn't had his buttons pushed yet.
Yeah.
So
No.
I haven't figured it out yet.
Well, I mean, if the splat didn't do it, I guess.
Yeah. Or the toe. Come on.
So,
That was traumatizing for us.
The toe.
Yeah.
yeah. Watching Eon die,
Yeah.
sacrificing
Right, yeah.
yourself
Right.
for me.
for literally
For
fully.
yeah.
Yeah.
That,
That still hurts.
But
Cool.
first,
Before we
we
get there,
battled the big thing
we
Yeah.
battled
and the
that
river
and
of blood.
yeah.
And that was cool
Gosh,
combat.
that was so cool. Before we talk about Soul, let's
Yeah.
talk about that. Because man, that was so cool and unexpected. Because like I knew there was a river of blood, and like blood is Eon's thing, but I was like, no, she would not never come. Anything would come of that. And suddenly, like Eon is starting to interact with it.
Okay, when we first walked in there and it's like, there's a river of blood. Obviously, Eon's like, sick. Then start, yeah, and then
You have
things start
perfected.
kind of going into the river of blood and not coming back up. And she's like,
Uh-huh.
"Sweet portal."
I love how that's what he thinks. Portal? I'm not drowned.
And I was like, I was going over every possible spell I had or any combination of things I could have to like stop that guy from doing anything so I could like talk to him. And then he poofed away and I was like so mad. And then we jump into this combat, which was crazy because it tried to take you over, and just by like the stupidest luck I was able to give you whatever that is, pure, or good and evil, protect from good and evil.
Yeah, because that was.
I never take that spell. I don't know why I decided to. So
I am happy you did.
yeah,
Because
so
that would have
worked out really
sucked.
I would have been like, Ramsey, swing on Solo.
Yeah.
And watch as every strike basically almost hits.
Yeah, because
That
the
could've been
way
super
Ramsey is right now, like it doesn't take much for him to
Yeah.
connect.
Yeah.
And when he does,
He
it's
is-
like
He's got like, he is like super hyper focused in like mid to close range combat. Like within 10 to 15 feet is his like bread and butter. He can really fuck you up in that space. Like 25, 30 damage a turn is your average.
but God forbid you go 20 feet off the ground, I'm host.
Yeah.
Yeah!
Yeah.
That part's a little rough.
Then you get angry Darryll instead.
Yeah, exactly.
We did see that in the
dice
last couple of
behind you.
episodes. Yeah.
That was so brutal.
And yeah.
We'll get to
We'll
that.
We'll get there.
We'll
We'll
get
get there.
So,
Order,
continue
structure.
on.
There was an agenda or something. No,
Well, and then there was the Zyak, the bringer, the rock bringer.
Herald of
Harold
Rot.
of Rot. Like that there, it was just like, here it comes, boys and girls. Big,
Yeah.
big.
Big monkey, right?
No, that was the.
After-
That was,
Yeah.
that was a big one.
Yeah.
Well, interesting that like so much has happened since then that like I've kind of already forgotten about that combat.
Yeah.
There's
Oh.
just been like so many like really
Yeah.
big
Well,
things that happened.
at the
Like,
time
bam,
it was
bam,
big.
bam,
Yeah.
bam, bam.
Yeah.
Literally,
Yeah.
that was scary.
Yeah.
David like
Was.
needed the thing
Yeah.
down the hill,
Mm-hmm.
which kind of like
Bulgura.
yeah.
That's the other
Right.
one.
That,
oh, so you're
that
talking
was
about that, yeah.
Yeah, but
That was that was no slouch of a combat. Like we took some licks.
We
at
got
that.
hurt.
Tricky.
yeah.
It was tricky.
So
and David did have good moves in that one.
Yeah,
too.
that's true,
That was
yeah.
where like he had kind of redeemed himself with
Yeah.
us because he
Fucking con.
Yeah.
yeah.
he had pissed us off,
Oh.
and then he
Yeah.
redeemed himself by
Yeah.
saving Eon
Yeah.
and getting her out of there with Dimension Door.
Yeah. Twice, yeah.
Twice.
Yeah.
And then also demonstrating how much of a gap the Sins have
Yeah.
in spell casting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
and he was just a bard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like
Right.
not even like a lore bard with like a lot of spells that's equal
Yeah.
to like a high spell casting. He was like a psionic like stab
I'm
bard.
gonna poke you with
like,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, we were a funny group. Aren't
Well,
we? Not really well balanced.
You gotta think back though, like when we made these, it was like 2 years ago, and
Just
this was
different.
supposed to be just like one module.
Something for us to do.
Well, and it was a heavy RP. Like
Yeah.
we weren't going like a balanced combat thing.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
a lot of these characters are not made in an optimized way, shall we
Yeah.
say?
For sure.
So.
And I don't even think we went into it with the mindset of let's be heavy RP.
No, yeah.
We just
Kinda
figured
did.
out we
Yeah.
kind of liked it
Yeah.
and kept doing it. And
Got into
yeah,
our characters.
we made Josie
Oh.
adapt.
Yeah.
Well, like,
Yeah.
I'll never forget like that first session sitting around your guys' kitchen table, like, and it was like the three of us, and it was like, I want to help everybody, fuck the world, and I just stepped back and went, okay, let's do this, and it was
Me and
just,
Kenny came in later and brought the chaos.
yep,
yeah.
Well, my first session was
Oh,
with Zray and DK,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
David and Anna, and I think we played it. We fought like the troll, and then we went to Volo's house,
Yeah.
and we actually stole from him. And he had a dog. We almost stole the dog.
oh, we could have had a pet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This whole time.
Do a pet.
You do have a pet.
Scree does not count as a pet.
But horse does.
Yeah.
Horse,
We have lots of
Iris, like whatever.
Is Iris still
Cornea?
around?
Cornea. Yes.
Iris.
Yes.
She is.
Is she?
I clarified
Oh,
that
yes,
that
you-
spider that Sola got is Iris.
Oh.
But if,
So we'll get to that later too.
yeah,
Yeah, and so kind of getting back into
Yeah.
it, but like that kind of style of high RP is what led to the entire blood cannon displacer like
oh cool,
blow up and everything, right? Like I think that was like prime example of what happens when you like really invest in characters and like have that moment of like trust and maybe breaking it, but for a good reason. But like still doing it.
For sure. For sure.
I think it was hilarious too in the beginning that you guys like the consensus of everyone hates Volo came like from both sides. It was just like
And then I came in and I was like, why? And you're like, you guys are like, well, he's like this like rich douchebag, and like we stole from him, but he hates us for some reason. I was like, okay.
He was gonna give us gold, and instead he gave us a contract and an obligation.
That's rude. That's just rude.
oh, he gave you a home.
I had to go to a bank and put my name on a document with all of you.
Legit.
Didn't you get like arrested like that first day? Like
Yeah, well, the guards came because I stole something.
Yeah,
I don't even remember what I stole.
We can do a little recap of pre-stream because Kenny and Amy weren't here for the last Can't Make Wednesday, and then we can jump back into
All of
the end of Two Hills. We'll say, what's that? But yeah, Scree used to be a warlock.
Yeah, Scree was a warlock.
I think I accidentally alluded to that a couple of sessions ago. And I was like, don't you have like Eldritch Blast?
That would
No.
confuse people so hard. Like, he's a rogue. What?
Well, yeah, that's what I did was Eldritch Blast, and then I had Eldritch Backflip,
yeah.
which is your
Right.
homebrewed one. And I would do Backflip and do my Eldritch Blast. And I would get extra points if I landed.
Yeah.
If I didn't land, I was prone. Which would suck. Yeah, if
It's
I
like the
failed,
falling wreck.
but then Scree got heartbroken, and he became emo Scree that we all know and love.
I still feel
And that was like the catalyst
horrible.
of the class change.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
I
yeah,
feel horrible. Kenny definitely walked himself.
that night where Josie started
shit went
like
down.
when Josie was body talking to you, and then like you and me both are like, oh.
Because we're staying quiet. It's like we're not there, but it's like, why are you giving her the impression that you skinned her brother?
Yeah, like we're
Why
like
are you doing that?
full of disbelief. Like, wait a minute, are we off the hook for this? Like,
Look at that.
For context,
Please, thank you.
yeah.
Scree fell in love with Bonnie, who was a barmaiden at the Hag's House, which is a tavern that the Sins own in Waterdeep. Turns out she was a doppelganger? Yes. And turns out we might have killed her brother fighting.
We definitely.
We did kill other doppelgangers and
In
like
the Xanathar hideout.
yes.
Yeah.
And when we
did
killed
after.
them, we decided to skin, or Eon and Ramsey decided to skin this doppelganger and hang it to like dry out or something.
Sick.
And Scree told Bonnie that we might have killed her brother because she was like, my brother, who was also a doppelganger, is missing. And Scree was like, oh yeah, we saw one, and then we killed him.
And she was like, oh, where? And you're like, wow.
And then Scree explained everything, and then Bonnie slapped him and never seen again. But the doppelganger skin that was hanging up was taken. It was gone.
I was nipped.
Yeah.
Yes, you were.
Somebody stole it.
Skin.
That was a crazy plot
done,
twist,
too.
though. Like I remember being
Yeah.
shocked, legitimately shocked.
Yeah, like that was
Out of
that
nowhere.
was almost the end. Yeah, that was the end, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was like the epilogue, and like
Yeah.
Scree and Bonnie had
That's
like
right, yeah.
every time you guys would come back from mission at the Hag's house, Scree and Bonnie would have like an interaction.
Yeah.
Yep.
They go to
Yeah.
date.
Yeah, you guys
Yeah.
went to the
Yeah.
parade, and then Scree and Bonnie went off by themselves.
Yeah.
Like,
I like would steal stuff for Bonnie
That's
and
right.
like to give to her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the crow bringing presents.
Yeah. I like invite her to my room. That's just like the, what is it called again?
I
The
built you a birdhouse up at the top.
yeah.
so, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
But I just lived outside
On the hammock, yeah.
on the hammock,
Yeah.
on the turret of the tower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we built it like, I got worried that you'd be like, if it like snowed or rained or something, you're
Yeah.
just sitting out there. So it's like, well, at least give them
Yeah, I did have shelter.
some kind of roof.
I also had like just things that I had stolen. I had like a magic carpet.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a nest up there.
And I
You
have
a
like
magic carpet?
I have a magic carpet. I have that thing I stole from your brother,
Yeah.
the armor.
Wait, when did you get a magic carpet?
Yeah.
I honestly don't know where the magic carpet is.
It was the rug that suffocated you if you stood on it.
Oh.
Oh, that's
so
where the
not a
magic
good magic.
I know, like, oh
I
dear.
don't know what you're doing with that, but okay.
Yeah, that feels
It's
like
just
PTSD.
You actually just like fly from edge to edge. You actually never walk on it, so it's never a
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah, it's not an issue.
Home security system.
But like every time I steal something, I put it in Scree's room, so his room is just
Full of shit.
Top of a roof
Yeah.
of-
in a
Like
turn
Max
of a tower. And yeah,
One day the floor's just gonna give way and everything's just gonna come through.
This is Ray's old room. I mean, you could move in.
I could have moved in.
Yeah, you could.
Well, we
haven't
haven't
been
been back, yeah.
That's true. We
At
haven't
some
been
point.
back.
We pretty much, as soon as that was over, it was like, wow, there's the time gap.
Yeah, we had a couple month or
Yeah.
two of like
It's like 3
RP
months
story.
in game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where we kind of parted ways there.
We all did stuff for 3 months.
And then we went off to 2 hills.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Force edge.
And Forrest said first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Forrest says along
And
the
then,
way.
and then you're in battle, and then Sola goes through a wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, should we go back to that? But did you say everything you wanted to about Eon and the whole Blood River and canon?
Did that happen before you went through the wall?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That did? I don't know what there is to
You
say.
just got it though, didn't?
Yeah, like you
Mhm.
really, you only had it for a session
Of the display,
of the displacer canon.
delirium, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that was one of those things that, like, when we were walking through the entry point and you're like, and there's all these displays and there's like a this thing and there's a this thing and there's a cannon and there's something else, and I was like, yeah, you fucker. Like, don't you.
He does that, doesn't he? Yeah.
Just want to make sure you're paying attention.
I know this is for me. I just look at it, it's like Janelle on the bottom. Yeah, because
Yeah.
yeah, Eon is a very real part of my personality. I also like tinkery things that go boom. So, you know.
I didn't notice.
So yeah, that was really cool. But I was like, we didn't have a lot of like downtime, and an interesting thing about Eon is that like she really will not do chaotic decisions unless she's really emotional, and then she'll like react like really harshly. And so I needed some time to like sit and actually look at it, because I thought it could have been like pretty dangerous, because I'm like, okay, we've gotten all these clues that like lyrium exists and that it's extremely volatile and extremely dangerous, and we have some like pieces of it that like we're pretty sure this is lyrium, and so I'm like, you know, put them together kind of thing, but not really sure what would happen. And so I was looking for some time to do that, and then it was just accelerated when Lash said do this thing, and she trusts him. So yeah, but like here's the thing though. An evil creature to Eon is not an enemy.
Yes.
It's just someone who feels comfortable, you know, like, because she feels that she is evil, she feels that she is a demon or devil or something, like she feels like she's from the hells, right? She feels that draw. And so when he said that, and like she already wanted to do it anyway, it's not like it took a lot of convincing. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And then pew.
Well, then
It's a lot of fun.
you wanted everyone's blood.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Yeah.
and that happened first, and because that happened first, that was the reason why she woke everyone up. Otherwise, she probably would have just done it.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So,
Will we
that was
ever
a choice.
find out what that was about?
The blood pact?
Yeah.
Should work that.
The blood, because you know.
Well, maybe you want to talk about it?
The blood pact. I don't like. It's not mysterious. Really.
Oh.
It's a blood pact.
It's yeah,
Like,
It was like a promise.
It was a promise. Like,
Gotcha.
Scree scares Eon,
Yeah.
and so, you know, like, all the chaotic decisions are like a real threat to her super ordered, super considered, meticulous, safe kind of personality.
Mhm.
And she likes blood for whatever reason.
Yeah.
She's just like obsessively drawn to blood and blood magic in particular. It's very powerful, you know, it's innate and all that kind of stuff. And she was just like, this makes sense. If we just bring all of our bloods together, then we belong to each other. And we have to make sure that we're all taking care of each other, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, kind of like really no deeper than kind of what Sola explained in her prayer, where we were making that promise to each other to look out for each other, and obviously it didn't work perfectly well because we still made bad choices, but that was the intent.
It was like I think it was symbolic for me, like from the Eon as the character perspective. It was really symbolic because she was not only saying, I trust all of you, I love all of you, I care about you, but also like, please also take care of me, like to everybody, like please, like let's make smart decisions, please let's take care of each other, please let's do this.
Yeah, I know.
And it really was that, because like we frequently aren't making necessarily like always the smartest decisions. Like we frequently like just run into a scenario and just see what happens, because we've gotten pretty lucky with it, and like we kind of forget that at this point we're like at a pretty high level of D&D, you know, reasonably, and so things are getting like more challenging or whatever. And there's been a lot of interesting conflicts and moments and stuff between that, but I think that's why, like from Eon's perspective, it was really much like it was really her also saying like, please also take care of me, which in retrospect is heartbreaking, but that's what it was,
really is.
right? So she made good on her part of it immediately by waking you up and right, and asking for your opinion and being like, I want this, I know you're not gonna like it, but I'm gonna ask for your feedback anyway. I'm gonna wake everyone else up,
even though the consequences of it were obviously negative. I still did it.
Ramsey was really tortured with that question when you asked for it. Like I almost said no. There's a very big part of me. It was just like, you are, and it's slightly arrogance of him. That was like, you are dabbling in things that you have no idea the recourse of. But then again, he thought back, and like the only thing that was going through mine and / his mind was that I promised I would never leave her again, and I would always be there for her.
And you made that promise after the 3 months right before you started streaming again, because Ramsey disappeared, Eon was alone, it was not a good scenario.
And so it was just like he thought back to that, and like it was like, I cannot do this to her again, I have to be there for her. So he eventually just like, I'm going to trust you, and I hope you will do the right thing, whatever you think is the right thing, you know. But yeah, it's like he was very close to just saying, not don't you dare, but just simply no. Like it's there is, he understands just through like his genetic makeup, I guess you could say, like the power that comes with blood, the ability, the things you can do with it, the bindingness of it. Like
Ramsey probably understands it better than Eon. Eon just has kind of like a gut instinct about how to use it.
Ding, ding, ding. Yeah. Gonna point that out real quick. Yeah. Between the two of you, when Eon put her hand over the blood pool as an artificer, and was able to manipulate it to the same level as a blood hunter, that meant something.
Yeah. And that's something like I kind of picked out of, like, it's weird to talk about myself because I'm kind of in third person, but like Ramsey was like, he saw that and went, oh no. But also on the same hand, I'm not alone.
Yeah.
There's somebody else that isn't my deplorable family who can do what I can kind of do. So, you know, like it's as much as like Sola, Ramsey considers Sola to be like his sister, and like we'll get into other stuff that happened. But like he looked at Eon as like his protege, his almost like his child, his.
It was very paternal. It was definitely like a very like
you know,
nurturing,
like he. You know, it was always very much like Ramsey knows that Sola can handle herself, come whatever. He'd be there for her, but like, you know, anyone stepped out of line, Sola would whip their ass. Like, let's just face it here. Like, But it's like he always he worried about Eon when it came to situations.
What about Scree and Rhaenyra? You don't care about us?
I've seen the shit you do. Okay,
You guys can handle your own though, right?
yeah,
Like,
it was.
Eon's always been kind of like a glass cannon.
I remember my first introduction to you guys because it literally, as you were just talking about that paternal relationship, what came into my head was like you guys were all introducing yourselves to me like in character. And I remember you saying like Eon was like hiding behind your jacket. Like it was
Eon,
like very innocent and very
Ramsay
sweet.
and Sola found Eon under a table.
Yeah.
Like that's how it went. So.
And she's the youngest in the party,
Yeah.
right? She's barely an adult.
How old are you?
I don't know.
Scree doesn't even know. Scree and Kenny don't
We're
know.
ageless.
Fits.
Like probably like
Just get it.
teen. Like
Scree
late
didn't exactly
teens.
get regular birthdays growing up, so I'm not
No.
really sure.
So doesn't know how.
He was found
Doing
in a-
genealogy.
He was found in a cardboard box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was just a little guy. He's probably like late teens, early 20s.
Oh, so you might be the youngest.
Yeah.
I thought you were older.
You know.
I think that fits the personality.
It fits
Yeah.
the personality.
I was gonna say
You're so
50s.
suave with the ladies.
That's why I'm like, Scree's been around.
No.
No social anxiety whatsoever.
But how long
Yeah.
have you been 50? With the whole displacer cannon and that kind of stuff, I didn't really know how you would react. I thought you might be like, be careful. I didn't think you were gonna react as strongly. I actually was like literal milliseconds away from turning it away, saying no.
Oh wow.
And then like literally, because that's what I was gonna do, and then Sola was like,
Guidance.
Well, and I'm like, okay, cool. Haha, joke's on you. You're going to Sola. Sola will be the voice of reason.
yeah,
What the fuck are you doing?
yeah.
Totally turns it on its head.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what Sola-ism, right?
But and part of it, cause so I'll be honest, I wanted Eon to have that cool fucking
I
cannon.
wanted-
I did too, like as a person, but like it's
And
just.
so I was like, how would this be okay with Sola?
Yeah.
And like, so yeah, for sure, Sola is neutral good. She's gonna do good things, but also what's good for her isn't what's good for everyone else. And like doing blood stuff and
That makes it sound really dirty.
Blood
it's
stuff.
doing blood stuff is Eon's
Hashtag.
bag.
Oh, no.
And so
Sounds really gross somehow. Keep going.
and so anyway, I liked the poignancy of
Yeah,
giving it back to Eon and being like, you got to do what's right for you.
I'm so glad you did that. But it was just like interesting because even like watching it back, it literally was, I had decided I'm gonna push it away. You did that, and I was like, let's do this. It was like, do.
What did Rhaenyra think?
I felt like it was like a reward, like for Eon.
Oh,
Yeah, like for just like everything that she had like learned and like experienced so far, like it felt like she like deserved it.
yeah.
Because it's like it wouldn't have come to any of the rest of us. Like that weapon doesn't make sense for any of us. It wouldn't have like called to us in that way and how you had to work it. I always thought of it as like not even a word for like Eon, but like for Janelle. Like it was like here's your like piece of pie. It's how, like that's literally what I always felt it as.
It was very exciting. Thank you for that. I'm glad I got to use it. Once.
Yeah, once.
And it was effective. It did some damage.
It was very
It was
effective.
very needed in
Yeah.
that battle.
It's a cool weapon, and I didn't even like. It had another feature that I think would have been cool to try to.
It was situational though.
Yeah, didn't work that time, but yeah, it was very cool, and all of that. Like I felt so good after that RP too, because the other thing with that blood ritual, and I don't think I told any of you this except for Loren maybe, but I didn't actually like plan that in advance.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
That was also
Some of the best stuff comes just from like.
On the spot, right? So I had kind of decided that I was gonna bring Iris back in sort of that way. Like I wanted her to kind of come back like out of something bloody, and like so I was gonna do something about that. And I was thinking maybe like the Fey blood, the dolphin blood, or something like that. And I wanted her to come back like more pristine because I wanted that to be kind of an indication of like progression or growing up a little bit, or it's like we're getting more polished as a person, like Eon's getting more polished, not just scraps, because the first versions of Iris were made out of like rusty forks and nuts and bolts and stuff, and then she's changed a little bit, and now she's like an actual little robot, you know, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I didn't plan it. There was just kind of like a moment for it. I was like, this is gonna fuck with everybody. Let's do it. So,
Yeah, it was brilliant for a spur of the moment thing that you didn't plan.
yeah, I was really proud of that. It felt really good to watch it, and I'm glad I got to have some of those really cool moments with her before she died, because it would have hurt even more if I hadn't had very recently had some cool moments. She's a cool character. So, yeah. Sad. And then.
Then yeah,
No end.
we ventured further in, or Sola did, down into the mines with something I totally didn't expect at all. I was just like, yeah, we're down in the mines to save people. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a hidden ruins down there related to Sola's upbringing, her god, and
So-
I totally did not expect it. And it was fun to get to like break off from the party and
It's so freeing.
Split the party every day, all day.
and have to like navigate through something very personal to Sola alone. Yeah.
And the lore.
Right. And
So much was
we got to
revealed.
learn a lot about
Yeah.
why things are the way they are
Yeah.
in Two Hills and with Lythertida and to Sola.
Like that was our first big lore dump.
Yeah,
So-
for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's
That was crazy.
still need to make that pie like
Yeah.
shepherd's pie
Yeah.
recipe.
Yeah.
Pot pie.
Pot pie.
Pie.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Yeah. It's like
And
That was the real reason.
end game. Yeah.
Level 20 adventure. One shot.
Someone's goodbye will just be a pot pie sitting there.
Love it.
Learning, because like I had this whole thing with Sola where I wanted her to be an outcast amongst her people and stuff, and to then find out a reason why it happened that was not anything I had come up with, but that totally like intersected with the makings of Sola's story was amazing. And really cool to experience. And so, and to speak with like a huge figurehead in the Lythertidan sect, with this Valkyrie of light of life
Yes.
that Sola didn't even know about. But that made total sense for why things were the way they were. Was incredible.
Can I ask you, why did Sola, or like, because now Sola kind of knows, but why did Sola think that her magic was weird before all of that was revealed?
Yeah. I think I can talk about this. I still have, in our next episode, we have one more thing to tie up.
Oh.
Yeah. But it'll be easy.
Okay.
But
Sometimes things have been
That's what
revealed
works,
in
I think that for the most part we've seen why. It's that the Church of Lythertida believes that light is only to be used for healing and for doing good things, and that dark magic or necrotic magic is for doing bad things, for hurting people, for doing damage. And so it really boils down to those two simple tenets. And so of course Sola, having only light magic at her disposal, she's breaking their laws and therefore is an outcast among her society. And so learning about the Valkyrie of life, and that is actually was actually a normal thing once upon a time in the past. kind of like
why-
somebody gave her.
What did she think before that though?
Oh,
That's
yeah,
kind of what
okay.
I'm wondering.
I mean, yeah. I mean, before that, she did think that she was breaking the rules or the laws of her church. Like even in her conversation with the Valkyrie, like I made sure to say, like, you know, I'm a mistake because she's not supposed to do this. But Osola is also driven to help people, and these are the tools she has at her disposal, and so she's more driven to help people than to follow the rules, I guess. And so therefore she will help people even if it means breaking those rules. Yeah. And so so what does Sola think? Yeah, she thought that she was a mistake, and I mean she's only really in game only recently learned that she's not, and so it'll probably take some time to adjust to that. She has a lot of like negative self feelings probably about herself and the things she can do, and it'll take some time for her to get over that, I think. But yeah, that's kind of where Soul is at, I think.
Went from being like the shame of her people in her eyes to now it's like, no, Luke, you are the chosen one. Like,
yeah, kind of.
You know, you were the last of a dying breed being light touched.
Right.
I don't know if this will happen ever in gameplay because of where we are right now anyways, but it's like after what you just said and what like we've discovered is like I wondered if we had like another interaction with Sola's grandparents and what her grandfather would be thinking of.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of the like negative kind of like self-esteem and self-image like comes from that grandfather figure.
Yeah.
He's such a dick.
Yeah.
Now,
amazingly a dick though. That was so well played.
I
I think we covered it in there in
the last.
but like, boy, it can't be said enough. That was like intentionally so bad and so good.
Yeah.
So well done.
Well, and thinking like, and now I constantly going back and thinking like after finding out this, I'm like, fuck, did he know and just didn't want to burden her with it, trying to protect her from the world? Like this is his only, you know, this is his only offspring in essence. Like his, we don't know what happened to your parents. Like, like this is it. Like, is he now? I'm going to make you try to stay away from this as much as possible, but in essence, ended up driving you straight to it in the end. Like.
Yeah,
just a thought I had.
Like we might find out because I think we might make a stop back.
Well, yeah, that kind of the game plan was. Hey, that place was kind of safe. Let's fucking go back there. Plus, you need to get the stuff from the nightstand again.
And make another pass.
I
literally texted Josiah the other day. I was like, I'm gonna make Kenny a shirt that says I can be your grandfather.
Yes. Yes.
Call me grandpa.
Yeah, that's what it was. Call me grandpa. Yeah.
Call me grandpa because I fucked you now.
Grand Kenny.
Shout out to the Northern Boys fans in there. Loose reference.
So anyway, last thing about it was I got this sweet legendary item that is gonna apparently grow with the character. So I can't wait to see what happens.
Oh, it's a message.
It was real hard to figure out how to fit it into the item build I had made, and so giving up an achievement
because you gave up.
For it, but like Sola can't give up her amulet, because that means too much to her. She can't give up the cloak because that means too much to her and Ramsey. So she has one slot to play with. So no more items, Josie.
That just makes me want to give you more.
No more attuned items. Give us all the items that don't need attunement. Like
things he can make it can be like there you go.
Yeah. So anyway, cool. I can't wait to see what happens with that.
Yeah.
And it has a neat effect, and it's customized just for like my kind of play style. So yeah, it's gonna be fun.
That's awesome.
It's gonna be fun.
Mm-hmm. That whole like environment was really cool though. Like the whole, you know, you go through the wall and then there's kind of like this antechamber, and then you go down, and it's like, it was very well described, and it all felt very visceral and very like
spooky.
You could smell it, you
Yeah.
feel it,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
dripping, and like
I always
Yeah.
worry I don't do that
What,
enough.
what it gave me when I was a kid, I went over to my cousin's for a sleepover and we watched The Goonies.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and
that's
like
definitely a solo vibe too.
yeah, dungeon delving really like gives me hardcore
Yeah.
Goonies
Goonies.
vibes, and I was like, oh, this is just like that. So yeah, that was great. I didn't set that expectation beforehand.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you totally like you
Yeah.
nailed it and like stumbled into this thing that actually I was like super passionate about. So yeah,
I always
that was
love like
really
a,
cool.
you're able to paint it in a way that like I can see it in my head,
Oh, totally.
and then like
Yeah.
even like
100%.
when we were coming up to Two Hills, and like you see something flying across the sky, and I'm like, weird. And then we get a little closer, and then suddenly they're eating gnomes.
Had been robbed.
Yeah.
Like it was.
Benoit.
I would
Like
still like to try that. That sounds fun.
I mean,
Isha would do that with you.
we'll see what happens.
we thought about it as a send off for Eon.
Spread my ashes across the Sorry.
Oh,
My bad.
Jeez.
My bad.
I'm sure that's where she would love to.
Live the rest of her life.
That's one thing. Like
It was like a farmer going like, and he's like, oh, nice weather.
Just this little demon girl haunting everyone.
yeah, down an alleyway.
Or like,
Yeah. Somebody let the cat out.
So
that was so cool.
we went from there
Yes, we did.
back up to town. We
Ramsey freaks out.
gave yeah
Unusual.
Ramsey freaks out.
Ramsey almost killed Scree,
Mhm.
but not really.
That was
In the
that was
locker
also
room
really
or
well
something?
done.
Yeah.
They had the locker room.
The staff room?
I wanted
Oh,
the
the,
chest.
yeah.
same
I wanted the chest.
Yeah,
you wanted the
you-
imps that I could see.
Yeah.
You couldn't see them.
Yeah,
You kept trying to attack them. I was like, you can't. You're not hitting them.
And then it just turned into a rage scenario where I was just so. That's just I was still mad at you.
Yeah.
Oh,
We never
it's-
got to hash it up. That was really well done. That was really, really well done.
Yeah.
That whole
like,
angry
he
Ramsey
was
thing.
Yeah.
And that's a
so.
tragic story beat too, because you guys ended things on such terrible terms.
Oh.
Yeah.
You never had a
And
chance
we were
to
like,
redeal.
we're gonna hash this up.
Yeah, this
Like,
is
players,
gonna
we
be
were like,
something.
This is gonna be
Yeah.
a thing. We're gonna have feels about it.
Well, you
know?
had even told me that
Yeah.
at the one point, like, oh, if you didn't give me the blood, you're like, I have your blood
Right.
because I gave it to her before, and she's like, I just used it. And I was like, oh.
I have a lot of blood. It's all
And so-
saturated now.
And so in a way, it's like almost like a life lesson about
he is.
your relationships with the people you know, and
Yeah.
Yeah, let them do what they
how
want.
at any moment you never know if things could suddenly end, and
Also
if
that.
you leave things on bad terms, you might never have a chance to fix it.
Wow.
But it obviously needed the cooling down period too, and that's like the interesting thing that happens when you go from like beat to beat to beat to beat,
Mhm.
and stuff just kind of settles. Like I feel like I always wanted to kind of confront Kenny about the stupid Bahir crazy thing, and like not Kenny I guess, but like
Screw,
just
yeah.
like kidding. But you know what I mean. And like we never got to do that, and sometimes things just kind of like fester.
Yeah.
I
Fester
can tell you,
like
like,
an open wound on your toe.
Yeah.
speaking of which, how is the toe?
Stubby.
Stubby.
Yeah.
Stubby.
You have 9 1/4 toes?
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, well, like,
Well,
yeah.
how many toes do I have?
I don't know.
We'll find out in the next episode.
Yeah. You know, like, it was not lost on me how things ended between us, and it's like how he is.
No closure.
There's not much left for in his eyes right now to hang on to. Like he is just ready to cut a bloody path through the world and watch it burn. That's how he feels. Like his, that whole. He meant every word that he said to Lilia. Like he will go, even if it's alone, but he will go and cut a bloody swath through the hells if he has to. He will, anyone who gets in his way. Now it's just like, this is humanity to him. Like, we had that moment where it's the cloak takes it off of you, folds it up, and I don't need my humanity right now. I just handed it to you because he's gone. There's very much a point of him. The thought crossed my mind of just taking the amulet, poof, and going through the Feywild, finding anyone that would make any kind of a deal, and if he couldn't, be done with you. He'd tear him apart, move on to the next one, do what I want, or you're dead. That was his whole, because I think he just feels so like gutted that he knew that they would make up. Like it was just I need to be away from you. Like I love you.
They needed some time to heal.
Yeah.
And then suddenly
gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was from everyone. Like it just looking back, like I picturing it in my head, that whole scenario, like just afterwards seeing Rhaenyra, like somebody who's very proud and confident, just
that broke me.
Just sit. Just something, the act of simply just sitting. Never seen her do that.
Yeah.
Relax.
Well, it's just defeat.
Defeated, yeah.
Defeat in victory.
Right.
It's
Just-
hollow.
Yeah,
Hollow
just
victory.
100%.
sat, and then I could picture the look in Scree's face of just like,
In front of Scree's face.
just
He's the only one who saw it, I think, actually, right?
Yeah.
We didn't see it, yeah.
you felt it.
Locked eyes with
Yeah.
Eon.
Yeah,
So
like,
certain things happen to Eon. And certain things happen to Solo again in the town hall, and then with Doric, and then the rest of the people there.
Doric's just floating around in the town right now.
Yeah.
Sing it
His
away.
best.
Like, maybe I'll put his name on the bar. Maybe.
But I feel that combat, with Grimspitter, Lilia, and the forces of Tiamat was... I was really pushing the limits of encounter balance there.
Well, and I know you checked in with me and you're like, did I go too far? And I'm no.
Yeah.
Like it was, we just had shit rolls, or at least I had shit rolls.
That was a really shitty combat for you.
Yeah, like it was just, and it's just everything we did. It's not like we did wrong things. It's not like we're like, oh, I'm gonna go stick my head in the dragon's mouth. Like,
Everyone
no,
everyone was being smart.
yeah, and everything we did, it was just everything turned against us.
Yeah.
So
I do think that were there not emotions involved, we could have done more to plan properly for it.
yeah,
But
it was a time crunch too.
it was time crunch, and like Sola was faced with this situation where she's watching her town get slaughtered
Yeah,
by the reason we came.
yeah. We
And
didn't.
so-
we couldn't stop what we were supposed to stop.
Right. And so she needed to act. And so, like, we had some time where we're, like, walking towards town hall, and it's like, okay, we know an encounter's coming. We're going to fight something. And it's like, do we stop and buff up now? Do we, start making plans now or later or whatever? But then... we get through the town hall, and suddenly there's dragons in the sky, and Zola is watching. Yeah, the dragon acid breath streets at a time, and like innocent civilians dying, and suddenly like this whole reason that Sola came back to help her town, her people, is being like thrown in her face, and that was why like she couldn't hold back and wait to do any more planning. She had to act to stop it.
Well, I think we were put in a just a catch-22, because it comes down to even like it's a moment that I remember between you two where you're like, we need to run, and you're not wrong. But you also said, like, where are we gonna run from a dragon? Like, we can get far enough, fast enough away. And then it was also you contributing, like, this is the whole reason we came. The whole reason we came was to stop this. You know?
That was like the whole like back and forth though, that like, I mean, now when we post this, it'll be a few weeks back, but the edit I did today of us like debating back and forth, like it was hard. Well, I mean, it was a lot to edit. It was at least like 15 minutes because we were literally just like back and forth where Elon was like, no, stop. Like, this is a bad idea. And then you were like, this is going to be fun. And she's like, no, we're going to die. And I'm like, okay, but like, there's nowhere we can go fast enough that this is going to happen. And you're like, no, seriously, we need to stop. Right. And then it stops at Sola, where Sola's like, this is my town. Right. And I was like, where are we gonna go? Because you're like, if we run away, and you're like, well, the dragons will be distracted here. And Sola's like, but this is my town, right? Like I suppose it was a catch-22, but to me it was like an obvious choice. Like,
well,
what
it was
were we
either,
gonna, like,
even if we did run, the dragon was either going to stay, nuke Two Hills, or it was going to follow us. And Two Hills might be safe,
and then come to us after Two
but
Hills.
we sure as shit wouldn't be.
Yeah.
You know, it would catch us on an open road running and circle back. Like, it would just keep passing over us, and it's
and at the same time, you know, it's not like Eon was wrong either.
no, like
Elon just doesn't care about Two Hills at all.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
Right.
literally, that doesn't factor into it at all.
Yeah.
Not even a little bit.
You know, I actually texted Josie, like, I think it was like right away. It must have been that night or the next day. And I'm like, how is it like so ironic that the most cautious and paranoid like character was the one who passed away? Like, not the two like impulsive ones, you know, like not the rageaholic or, you know, or even Doric for that matter. You know what I mean? Like, just where we were in terms of hit points and our strengths and things like that. Like, I was like, well, that is crazy irony.
Well, like, again, like how I was like, you know, like the whole "this will be fun" was like, that was kind of an olive branch for
Like, you can try your cannon, I think is
yeah,
what
like
you said.
it's
Yeah.
you know, like, I'll keep you safe, and then again, like, it comes down to like he's just like gutted, absolutely gutted from it.
It's interesting too, though, because if you even back up further, so we went into Two Hills thinking we were going to protect them from a dragon.
Yeah.
As soon as we got into Two Hills,
Was that what? Because I think the direction for Vajra was literally evacuate, as like just get people out of the towns and into Waterdeep.
I don't really remember what she actually
She said that we didn't know
A long time ago.
They
Yeah.
weren't sure if it was dragons or what, but they said that like a lot of places around there
Yeah.
had been getting hit.
Yeah.
So we were just kind of under the impression that if we were going there, it was to like warn them in some capacity that there's dragon danger.
Yeah.
Like they're imminent dragon danger, especially after the first encounter with Grimspitter and Lilia and that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
But then, so that is how we entered Two Hills, is thinking like, we gotta go, like, we're not quite sure exactly what we're gonna do, but like maybe we gotta warn them, or we gotta do something. And then basically immediately we stopped caring about dragons, and instead we decided to go on this adventure into the mines, which kind of made sense. But like, we could have made the decision to warn people about dragons, right? We could have made the decision to not go to the mines. So we could have made different decisions, you know, which might have resulted in different things.
I think we kind of got waylaid too with like the second we were getting into town and everything.
Yeah.
We get hammered by this automaton, and it's like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is happening here? Like,
We were just like really reactive with the
Yeah.
whole thing, and I think that was honestly like to our detriment, because like we
Mhm.
didn't, you know, above the table or at the table, like either way, we didn't really talk about too much about what we really thought we were encountering. And there was lots of times where, like, even in character, and this is also Janelle, where Eon would just be like, I don't really know what we're doing. Like, I don't really know what we're trying to accomplish. I don't really know what the danger is. I don't really know. And it's like some of it you can't really figure out, but we also like, we have a habit sometimes of like not really talking it through and just, you know what I mean?
Fuck it.
And just going, because it's worked out pretty well. But I think things could have been really different if we would have like considered that a little bit more. And that's like, I think as a player, that was like a pretty big learning experience, just like for me, of, you know, if you just take things as they come, eventually you're going to be surprised. Especially when you're at like, you know, 10 plus levels.
We are.
And, you know, it's starting to get more complicated, and the roll of the dice really matters in encounters and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what we could have done differently, but like, I just feel like we did not go into that encounter prepared. Like, we weren't incredibly buffed. We didn't have a strategy.
Yeah.
We didn't, you know?
I mean, Sola absolutely, after the battle, was left staring at one leftover 4th spell slot that I could have used to cast Death Ward on somebody who meant something to me. And so, yeah.
Hindsight's 2020.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That was a fun combat for me, though.
It was
so
extremely fun.
I hated it.
I know.
For sure.
You would have been extra upset if you died. If you had that
No,
shitty combat.
here's the
No,
funny
because if you have a really, really, really shitty combat and then you die.
I would have been totally. I talked to them on the way home about it, and I was like, you know what? I thought it was going to be me, because just that's.
I said the same thing.
Yeah,
Legit,
like-
I thought it was gonna be Ramsey.
Oh, really?
Ramsey, it was always the first one. Like, he'll head charge in, and it's just like the animal takes over, and it's. You know, he's expecting to take a brunt of this.
Yeah.
And then, just for the fact, like, of all people, that it was Eon. Like, that was, like...
Yeah, instead of Ramsey, it's, like, the one who
Yeah.
the most, in a way,
Yeah.
to Ramsey instead.
Like, it was just gutting. Like, I keep saying that, but it's just... If I had rolled that all night, and I just would have went, you know what? The dice just weren't there.
And you would just accept it.
Yeah, like, it's just like this fate, whatever, juju, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Yeah.
Like, just not my night. Okay. Let's pull out, Josie roll a d6.
Yes,
Pick my
sir.
character.
Yes, sir.
Like, it's...
Yeah.
that was my biggest thing. Like, I was I'd mentally prepared. Like, when you and I had talked, you're like, like, this next one, it's going to be a doozy. Like, he's like, I'm going to push you. Like, as a group, he's like, I'm going to push all you guys with this one. And I'm like, man, bring it on. Like, I want the challenge. I want to know that if I went down swinging.
Yeah.
That was the biggest thing.
It's funny to see like the parallels of like the actual people that are playing the characters, because like it's almost like you said, like like a Janelle's a bit part of an Eon and like Amy's a bit part of Rhaenyra, because it's funny like that's what you're saying to Josie, because Josie, like, I don't even think we kind of talked about it in retrospect, and I was like, I told Josie, I was like, going in that night, I was like, I'm not fucking dying. I was like, I'm not. I was like, I don't know exactly. I just came into it just like you guys. I'm like, there's no, like, Amy goes into like badminton, battleship, or whatever it is. She's like, she's not going to lose, and if she does, it's rigged. I've told people this, like, in arcades and things like that. Like, I don't lose. I'm athletically gifted. And I was like, so if the ball's a little bit deflated then, because I was like, I made the basketball team at 5'3", so something's wrong with this machine. But I literally went into I told Josie, I was like, I'm not dying. I was like, there is no way that we go into this scenario. I was like, I've thought this through. I have researched it. You should see my Google history. It was like how to kill a dragon D&D, how to kill a dragon paladin. I was writing notes, and I was like, I'm not dying. And I was like, not happening.
How to kill a dragon in 10 days.
Yeah, like literally.
I think this was like a combat where, and I'm looking about, and there's things that you guys are saying, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Where I'm just like, a dragon can fly 80 feet in a round. What happens when your front line actually can't intercept the baddies?
Yes. So 101, when it was like how to kill a dragon, was like, get it on the ground.
Yeah.
Whatever you need to do, get it on the
Darryll
ground.
tried. Darryll really tried.
Yeah.
I tried, you tried, David tried. Like,
I didn't get it to my second try.
Yeah, like
Grimspitter barely hit any of the frontline people. He literally just hit Eon, was just hitting Scream.
Yeah, totally.
And then all the saves were being boosted by Leia blasting you guys. So like there was like, they knew
Yeah, it was built specifically.
Well, they had played, and they had fought us before, so they knew like where our strengths were. Because I had brought it down the first time.
Yeah.
That's the
And
only-
almost killed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the first time we've encountered that intelligent
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
A battle,
who
yeah.
was also prepared for us, who also knew us.
Mhm.
Like we were talking about that.
Didn't
Like, it's not
underestimate
just
us.
not
Mhm.
just a tough opponent, but like it's a tough encounter, and they're smart and they know how to combat us. They have also researched.
And also, this
Mhm.
wasn't an ambush either.
No.
Yeah.
You called
They knew
them.
where we were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were like, we are going to raise this town if they show up. We
Yeah.
are prepared. We know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then there was like you guys know the Church of Lythertida had some like
Some ass monkey in there.
yeah. There was some even before you guys had gotten in. There have been people who had been taken over by a draconian infiltrator.
I have a question about that battle, DM.
Oh yes.
Just because, like, so when Darryll had put down the map, and there was like, I think was there 3 kind of squadrons of the Draconians, right? I think there was 3, wasn't there?
Yeah.
So?
Yeah. Was there a plan for more of them to show up?
Not really. Like
Oh.
it was gonna kind of just be see how those draconian. Their main focus was to kill
The civilians?
The civilians.
Oh, okay.
So like there was like this added tension here.
And, like, a
If you
distraction
guys want
for
to
us?
protect people,
Yeah.
like here's your opportunity, because now the dragon is
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Things are happening. And they would just be there, and there would be foot soldiers that would literally just be like, haha, die
Yeah.
child, who's next?
Right.
Because that's literally just the mission.
No, 'cause that's what it felt like a little bit too, right? But it was like a distraction for us. Because how could, like, especially people like me and Sola, to just like watch innocent people being killed, and it's like,
For
my
sure.
friend, but
Well,
they're coming
it's
to
the
try to
choice.
my kids.
Do you save
Yeah.
or do you harm? Like
Right.
it comes
Yeah.
down to that. Like that any combat really, we get in a situation like that where you're just like, you have 2 choices. Both suck because either way you go, there is a bad consequence.
Mm.
You know,
That was
so-
definitely something that actually in the combat Solo grappled with, was that innocents were being killed, but yet there are more dangerous elements around the map
Yeah.
What
that
do you focus on?
could
Yeah.
be worse for us, and so in the end Solo, did a lot of healing, but the attacks that I did were mostly against, or trying to be against
Mhm.
the main 2 bosses. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Mhm.
There's some like internal guilt, probably still there for Solo too.
Yeah.
But anyway, 'cause
Well,
she's
it's-
supposed to be the town savior. And, yeah. I was gonna say though, like Eon, back to Eon, like you and Eon performed like brilliantly in that fight.
Very
like, that
good.
was Eon's
Very
fight.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Like there were some incredibly smart moves and reactions and
Mhm.
cast uses and whatnot that Eon was able to pull off.
Your spark. That
And
saved a few of us.
Saved
Yeah.
Doric
Yeah.
from dying straight up because he would have failed and he would have just been dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gone.
And then I cast Enlarge on myself, get damage immediately.
That was so
and
cool,
then I
the
went back
Enlarge.
and rolled- I can't remember what it was, but I rolled exactly what I was.
Yeah.
You rolled a
I rolled
natural
nat
20 and it needed to be like a 25 or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, and it worked out. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was so
I
cool.
rolled it because I was like, whatever, I've lost it. And then I was like, wait,
Whoa.
51, is that 25 or 26? What do I need? What do I
It's
need?
25, bro. What do you got?
Yeah,
That was so cool.
that was a really fun encounter for me, and because combat is most fun for me as a player when it's strategic, like when I'm not necessarily just doing damage but also doing smart things and like considering different things. So interesting, like going back and watching the episode, I didn't realize in game, like at either of those sessions, that they started targeting Eon. Like I didn't realize that she was pulling their aggro, because I was so in what I was doing and then like paying attention and trying to, so I didn't pick up on that. And it was interesting watching that afterwards. Like I don't think it would have changed anything I did, but I did not pick that up at the table. So I don't know. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
But at least for Eon to get to go out with a bang,
Yeah.
with such a great combat, that's
Mhm.
pretty cool too. So
And it's fitting for her in a weird way that, she would die protecting someone she loved, because that's not really something you would assume was a character trait of hers, but really it also
It is.
is.
Yeah, well, and it came out
that's right.
at the end, like again, like the whole blood ritual. That was, like that was Eon finally being like, you know what, I'm okay with you idiots.
Yeah. You scored enough points.
How many points do you need for blood ritual?
All of
A
them.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bring me all the points.
There is one regret I have with this combat that's like not like related to anything anyone did, but it's just that Kenny was not there for like
The first part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really too bad.
which I think
Yeah, that's
maybe
nice.
not would have changed too much, but it could have been like an
Yeah.
interesting like maybe Scree would have had an input of like what they would do, and maybe that
Yeah.
would have had like a thing because
Yeah.
when a player isn't here, I'm not like really, I'm not going to jump into that personality and
Yeah.
like interact with you guys at the table because it's like there's meta knowledge I have and like
Yeah.
I might do some things that's just funny and like would be in character.
That's just art. Yeah.
Yeah, and like but you guys know that, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
but so I think like that may have happened.
Mhm.
But what did you think about that combat, Kenny?
It was fun.
Mhm.
It was the first like I got to use my Mage Slayer
Mm.
Yeah.
more
Mhm.
because I've had it
That's how you took
for a really long time. Never used it, and then talked to DM and was like, "Hey, can I use this?" And DM was like, "Yeah, let's make it better." Because it kind of sucks. Because
sucks. Yeah.
Mage Slayer only has like a range of like 10 feet, and it's like,
Mm.
when are the chances that I'm like that close
Yeah.
to a
Yeah.
Spellcaster.
Because
spellcaster?
you play ranged as a rogue
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
So we increased it to 30 feet, and even then, like I think I only got it to use it like once or twice.
Yeah.
But I was still like, yay! 'Cause it was-
Cool.
yeah, like
Mhm.
I've been waiting so
Well,
long.
you want to be able to use the abilities you
Yeah,
have. So.
yeah. And then it works for like Scree's story happening after, because watching Eon get fucking annihilated by a spellcaster and then
Yeah.
being someone who's like anti-spellcaster now.
Yeah, tell me about that.
Do you want to?
Yeah, well,
That's definitely something that I feel like
Yeah.
we need to delve in
yeah.
as
Yeah.
characters.
Well, like-
because you made a. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, it's all good. I just, I'm tired of playing Screamo. Like, I think that character arc is like kind of coming to an end,
Yeah.
and I wasn't sure where to put Scree next. Like, it was very much just like I don't want him to be hung up on Bonnie for like the rest of his
Yeah.
character life or whatever. So like, what is next?
Mhm.
So he's gotten through his teenage years.
Yes, yeah. He's
Go through, like, the college
developing-
phase now.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
We talk about perfect time to transition. Like,
Yeah, like it actually
Like
worked
I'm a
out.
moment, like.
Mhm.
Yeah, here's your catalyst.
Yeah, literally. And then it did work out that, like, the traumatic thing of Eon dying was just like, okay, yeah, now we're gonna just push into this
Anti-magic
magic
area.
like perspective more,
Hmm.
which is kind of like ironic because Scree was like a magic user
Yeah. you've now,
before,
like,
but
shunned
now
it.
I'm like, but I think that also kind of like helps with that storyline because now it like makes sense.
Yeah.
Like he has that magical background that he can use to like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, for you, it's like literally just looking at
Yeah.
somebody will give you so much information because of your
my
eyes.
eyes. Yeah.
Like, I don't know if we've really described
No,
this.
I don't
on
think
stream.
because Scree hasn't really like interacted with
Yes, the
his
genie.
lamp.
Yeah. Scree has a deal with a entity in his lamp where if he gives the entity a certain amount of gold, the entity basically goes, maybe I'll give you something.
Mm. I've gotten some good stuff.
It's a really cheap slot machine.
Yeah, yeah. Because like one time I gave it like 1,000 gold, thinking I would get something, and I got like nothing back. But that was because Scree was being an idiot and
Little
was
bit.
like trying to flirt with the entity or whatever.
Yeah.
Pissed it off.
Yeah, pissed it off. So I got kicked out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. But that was like a really cool thing because like I homebrewed like that little table that
Yeah,
we did.
yeah,
I gave you like that Eldritch backflip.
yeah.
But I think Scree works much better for you as a rogue.
Yeah. It makes more sense because it was like a warlock that like steals and is sneaky, and it's like,
Mhm.
why not just make him a rogue or
Yeah.
whatever?
Yeah.
Rook.
A rouge.
My French is coming out.
Yeah. It's come in handy, like, since you've
Yeah.
changed. Like,
Yeah.
it's been very helpful.
Yeah, especially with Zray not being
Yeah.
Yeah.
here anymore.
She was
Yeah.
rogue.
Yeah.
And she was really badass.
Yeah,
It's
she
sad
was.
she left. But That does kind of make sense too, because your experience with magic being a warlock was kind of like a toxic experience with magic,
Yeah,
right? You were
for
pulled
sure.
into someone, and
Yeah.
just like it wasn't empowering. I don't think.
No, because that's the thing too. Like Josiah brought that up, is that I would always like run in to like stab people, and then I would die. And he was like, "When was the last time you like died as a rogue?" And I was like, "I don't know if I have yet, like, or become unconscious." But as a
Yeah.
warlock, it was like every other time I was like, "Oh, Scree's unconscious again."
Yeah.
No,
Oh no.
and my AC was like 14, so it was just like they just hit me, and I was just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm dead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But-
Please.
yeah.
I
Still
will
no
tell you,
DK.
my new character has a very high AC, and I'm very excited about it.
Can I say I am absolutely both Ram and Darryll are terrified
Yeah.
of this fucking character.
So we got the one extreme side of Janelle's
I know.
personality. Now we got the other
Yeah.
one.
I know.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, and that was kind of intentional. When you first started to play Eon, you were like, I'm gonna be like this character that is like my antithesis.
Well,
And
so much me.
in a way though,
Yeah.
because Eon is very quiet and like willing to like sit back, and like after a while of playing her, you actually told me that you were like, it was a challenge to make her come out and interact with people or things or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it was a challenge in a different way.
Mhm.
And so, that was Eon, and now you're moving into this totally different character with a different skill set and a different outlook.
So when we started playing with this group, like I knew obviously Loren and Josie, but I didn't know anyone else, right? And then also we were still pretty new to D&D at the time. We played a little bit, but like this was going to be a more serious kind of campaign than we'd ever played. And so knowing my natural personality, I was actually really worried that I would be too talkative at the table and I would be like overbearing at the table and stuff. So I was really intentional about creating a character that wasn't that way, so I would have like a logical reason to not do that. To like, because in my mind I'm like, I don't want to take over the table, like I want to have fun at the table. So that was actually like, that was an intentional choice. But I was so frustrated, like the first couple of months we played together, it was frustrating because I would sit there and I would listen to everyone and be like, but I can't say anything because my character doesn't talk. And then it took me a while to figure out like how to like be expressive with her, even if she wasn't like talkative, and then like as we kind of got on more and then she like started talking more and opening up, then it got easier. But this time I'm like really excited to play a charisma character. I just think it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
I just think it's cool.
Yeah.
Terrified.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good.
We saw 2 years of Eon, and
Yeah.
the stream
Yeah.
has seen 15 episodes now,
Yeah.
which is not much comparatively, but now we're going to see a potentially completely different side
Yeah.
of a player.
Yeah.
So
And I will tell you guys this because I've told some of you, but I built this character for a long time or a little time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, it could be either of those things because I don't really know
Mhm.
what decisions the party as a whole is going to make and all of that. Because I know people really want to try and bring Eon back, and like full disclosure, I'm not convinced that she would.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sure she would come back. So, like, I don't really know how that will go, so I wanted to build something that I could play for a long time, but also would have a reason to kind of come or go or whatever.
Yeah.
If need be, so we'll just see.
Just even how we left it, like that was the hardest part for me. It was like, okay, boom, done.
Yeah.
Now we're done for 3 weeks.
yeah,
Yeah.
because
Like,
if people watching
Yeah.
this don't know that, but what happened
Yeah.
was we finished that combat. Eon died, and we cut, ended
Yeah.
the session.
Yeah.
And then we had 3 weeks of vacations, essentially, of players, and so we weren't able to play for 3 weeks, and so we got to sit on this death for 3 weeks, just like mulling it over.
And there were feels.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like I had serious feels because like it's my wife's character, and Eon was a part of our lives. Because for 2 years we would like strategize about our characters and talk about our backstories and our feelings about situations, and like Eon was a real person to us,
I mean, she has 2 playlists.
So we've got Spotify
That's a lot.
playlists that we would road trip with,
They're good
and
playlists.
and just be like feel this character, and to have it suddenly end, made me realize that I was taking for granted the fragility of life in D&D.
Especially when you start like in D&D, when you start getting into the higher levels, it gets pretty hard to die. Like you know, especially when you have access to certain things. Like when we're just at that cusp coming into it. But it's like it was one of the like the fragility of it, like you said, like this happens in this game, like it's just it's rough. I was not good for a hot minute.
For sure, yeah.
But then like again coming back though, like after those 3 weeks was like just to be here at
Yeah, it
Felt
was
nice.
table.
to sit down at the table with you guys again, and then Lord Almighty, that frickin' speech. Whew. I hope you have that written down somewhere, because like
Well,
that.
it's recorded too.
Yeah, but like we
Yeah.
need to print a copy for the box, and that needs to go in there.
Yeah.
Like that's
That's sweet.
that needs like,
Yeah.
and just like, I will always forever in my head hear like my friend. My friend.
You know, I texted Loren the other day about it. Well, actually, the following day.
Yeah.
Because I was like texting Josie, and I was like, just like Amy is not an emotional person. Shocker, I know. I was like, and it's just like everything I've cried in has been like movies, or like in animals being hurt, but like in any real life situation, like I just don't cry. And then after the battle, I'm like, Josie, I'm like, am I like a robot? I'm like, what's wrong with me? I was like, I'm sad. But I was like, but I feel like, it's not like I feel indifferent, I just don't feel anything. And I was just like, because it's real, but it's not real, and all this stuff. But then Loren gave that speech, and I was like, okay, I am human. Because it took, like, and I told Loren, it was the part where, like, she was hoping that Eon had all those trinkets, like the patch of fur, the feather, the bell, the duck, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like that was very heavy, because I was like, yeah, I hope Eon, like has all that stuff to remember. But I hope she plays with that toy duck and she thinks of Rhaenyra, and things and all that stuff. I'm like, wait, it's not real Amy, right? But it was like, it really like touched me, and I haven't felt like that in like a very long time.
Emotion?
Yeah, exactly that, yeah, aside from angry, yeah.
That's cute.
Like that man.
Yeah, if there
That's
was
surprising.
one thing that came out of having to wait 3 weeks was that it gave me a long time to process and to write what I hoped was an appropriate enough and like deserving enough, like essentially eulogy for this character that had been a part of our lives for so long.
Yeah.
I wanted it to be very focused on who Eon was and what she would need and what would she need to be taken care of with who she was, anyway, so yeah, I had a long time to sit on that, and it was really hard because like I came up with like the bones of it in the first week, and then wrote it in the second week, and then had to wait a whole another week before I got to get it out of me. And yeah, it like when I wrote it, like I'm glad that I wrote it all in advance, because I cried so hard.
I know, I would walk into the
Before-
office sometimes
yeah,
and he would just be like,
Get out of my room.
And
I'm sweating.
if I had come up with all of that stuff on the spot, I would have never been able to deliver it.
Yeah.
I feel like either. And so, anyway, yeah.
Well, and I loved how you went to each of us and like, if you want to add something what do you want to do, like you know, like, and also gave the freedom of like, this is your moment, like it's not just your moment, but like it's all of our, you know, this is the way you say goodbye, this is the way we move on. So I thought it was very, very beautiful. Very deserving for you.
I don't like it.
Yeah, and like, you know, I didn't like it either, but the character deserved it. And I don't know, hopefully it's not the end, we don't know.
Yeah.
But if it is an end, then I don't know, I wanted to make sure that that
a good
she
end.
got sent off well. So.
Closure. Wrap it up.
Why are we being all sad? Ian's probably doing fucking backflips in hell right now, just like
I've always wanted to be here.
yeah, like haha fuckers.
She might be. Like, I mean, I don't know.
You don't even really know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think if she could see you guys, she'd be worried about you. Right?
I think it ended like so incredibly, and again, it was really just based on the like luck of the die that it was Scree who ended up killing Lilia. Like just the odds of that, and then I ended up killing the dragon.
Yeah.
Like it was crazy how that ended up working because it could not have, right? So.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, this game is so stupid. So stupid how things like create story beats just
Naturally.
naturally.
It's actually because you guys are all great players.
Us, no.
Make it easy.
Yeah, even a blind squirrel finds a nut. Come on now.
Blind squirrel doesn't find 50 nuts over 4 episodes.
That's okay.
I think it was good for me to have a couple of weeks too, because
Yeah.
in some ways, like I felt like you for sure. I didn't actually talk to you, so I don't know. But it's like you guys were really hurting, and I mean I was too. I cried after the session. Everyone gave me hugs.
I still like even right now, like I am like
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it's not, like
I'm
it still
not
does
over
hurt.
yeah.
But I like for me, I just like I literally just turned immediately to who am I gonna play, and then I'm like I will process this someday. We'll deal with this later. So, I had 3 weeks to build something, which turned out pretty good.
Really good.
There is like one hair, if anybody. Thank you. I was like, it's here somewhere.
I see the sparkly bit. Yeah, like I always joke about like, you know, the umpteen million backup characters that I have, and like and it caught me off guard, like how much it's not even my character. That I was just like, oh.
Yeah. I think it really makes a difference that they had unresolved things between the two of them. I think that really makes a big difference. But I don't know, and it's a little bit telling that you're finding all these like similarities now.
I still swear you are doing it just to fuck with me.
Dude,
so
why would I do that?
'Cause it's you.
Why would I do that? I don't know.
Like I'm looking across the table at like Loren and Solo going, the fuck?
Okay, so you know, like in Harry Potter, where you have your Patronus memories, where you name, like your favorite memories to like your best memories. One of mine is now you turning and like starting to talk, and like Eon would always let you just like go on your big thing, and you're like, I know you're new here, and she just says, "So I'm the original." your face was just like. I was like, love it! Dynamics changing! Because Eon would have just like sat there and let you like say all of the wisdom, impart all of the wisdom or whatever, and this lady is like, you'll learn.
Yeah. Like
So that's a lot of fun.
Don't mansplain.
Yes. Yes.
I don't like, and I don't even know if it's that, but this character definitely like, she's not necessarily arrogant, but she's just like really great.
Yeah.
Like she is just
There's a sass to it.
she's fully aware.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
And I think half of it too is like he's he's looking like I need to fill the hole. Like and you are saying things that are like way too close to the line of what like
You're fiery.
like
which is pretty much all she can do. So.
I'm noticing a trend here. Like,
Yeah.
only good, only fire.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of true. No, I had to come up with a reason why. Like, it's hard to bring a character in at like 10th level.
Yeah.
Because you have to find a reason why they would have the skills that they have at this level. And I was going to go actually with a druid. I have a different concept for a druid that I was kind of interested in, but then it wasn't really working. The thing about the sorcerer is you can kind of say, like, this is innate magical ability, and so it could get powerful without you have really had to be an adventurer or, like,
You just
working
born
on
with
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, I could work with that, and then there was a really cool kind of backstory that developed around that. Talked to Josie about it, and there's some cool stuff, but she's fully fleshed out.
Nice.
Like, I can't wait to talk about it some more because she has like, she's got like pages.
Super
Yeah.
cool.
I like how she called him Fitzgerald.
Yes.
I really, really liked it because it was instantly like,
Yeah.
And Loren was like a couple days ago, he was like, and it's so funny you did that. Of course his name is Fitzgerald. And I'm like, no, that's not his real name. Like, I just, you know that, right? Like, that's not like the name.
and I went away from like it went from fizzle to
Fuck bottom.
Jizzle.
fuck
forever branded Jizzle fuck bottom to then like
Rapping.
to see that like it was almost like the glow up for him shows up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shining armor, riding horse,
exactly
and then
what it is.
Fitzgerald.
But that's the compliment, right? Because again,
Yeah,
this
like-
character, high charisma, she's like, I'm building. She's like, yeah, get it, king, get it. You know, she's like giving him a big name kind of thing, and like, yeah.
Like it was just to hear that I was like, I absolutely now like to you. Or like an NPC that was supposed to be a joke throwaway and actually has become a legitimate like.
What's like dark?
Fizzle was never supposed to be a joke throwaway.
No,
I put him
to Jizzle
in that cage in fucking Forest Edge for a reason.
Well, yeah, but like, he could have easily just teetered off into
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
existence.
Not after you give them a nickname.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I can't wait to see
fuck
Dar
Dar.
again.
Yeah. That means the players have accepted them.
Yeah. See,
Then you also try to
one
commit
of
murder,
us,
like
one
murder.
of us.
Yeah, tried to
Tried
murder
killing
him.
him.
We did that to
Several times.
Dar also.
No, Xanathar did that to Dar.
No,
Yeah.
before that
Before
we
that.
did something to
Yeah,
Dar.
we're
Did we?
fuck with
Well,
it.
you
Oh, yeah.
you have like a vengeful hatred towards
Yeah,
him.
there's only one Kenku. We can't.
Only room for one
Yeah.
Kenku in this
There's
universe.
just like a weird tension between Spring and Dar. Like sometimes they like will like sit beside each other and like they'll peck at their food at the same time. Bird fight.
Watch they step back. He just pulls a sword out of it.
It gets to that stage and the bartender like just kind of like mops the kobold.
Yeah.
Someday the stream will see Dar and then they will.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll get
Right
it.
now they're like, who the fuck is
Yeah,
Dar?
Yeah.
Inside jokes.
One day.
This is gonna
Fuck,
be
we've
fun.
like. It's weird to think that it's been that long
Yeah.
that we've been away from like, in essence, our home.
Yeah.
And like there is like I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also absolutely fucking dreading it
Mm-hmm.
because it's going to just like Ramsey will walk upstairs to like their little office like, and he's just going to absolutely
Find all of the gold stashed.
well yeah he knows where that is but it's like he'll look at a book or he'll look at something and it'll just like
Yeah, because pieces of Eon
Yeah.
are still there.
everywhere.
Mhm.
The chair that she used to sleep in. Like the
Yeah,
The
this
demonic
is
circle with the pentagram.
this is not a character that is just going to go away
Yeah.
because she died. She's still a part of each one of these other characters too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like there's this
Got some items for some amount of time.
yeah. What happens to that bag of holding?
I don't know.
You'll find out.
Better figure that out.
There is a mechanic for it.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, you don't need to know.
So
It's-
fucking
it's-
we run in with a time bomb here. Just
Yeah, there is literally like a
Oh,
game
Jesus
built
Christ.
mechanic for how long it lasts. But
Yeah, ruh-roh.
yeah, Iris I don't know because Iris
Yeah.
Iris is something. I don't know what Iris is. I actually don't even know what Iris is.
Yeah, what we do know is that Iris is currently with Sola.
Yeah.
And like, but is she an infusion? Is she gonna disappear? It's like all that kind of stuff.
I guess.
Or is she like
A familiar or something.
Yeah, and it's like
she is a familiar.
Well, she's a
but it's
familiar,
like
they
something
poof.
more. You know, it's something
Yeah.
extra. I don't quite know how that is.
And what about all of your security system?
Those would all be
All gone.
gone.
All gone.
Yeah.
Could you imagine being in the Hag's Head and all of those just
All the little spiders.
Oh, that would be like Jar just like
what the fuck, not again?
yeah. Fucking Vietnam.
Yeah.
Flashbacks.
Under the table. I almost started singing. Oh.
I think Eon had like a connectivity for people that was like ironic given her predisposition, but it made sense that like Rhaenyra was able to like open up to her and like have that moment, which was super cool between the two of them.
I think like I said in like our group chat, I was like, it's so like again like canon that like, because like Rhaenyra's just used to people that she cares and like loves about dying, and it's just kind of, and that's like what her kind of mission is right now, right? Is to kind of like end that cycle, and then of course then the first person. I mean, I guess we were kind of like Scree was always nearby or whatever, and everybody heard him, but she was intentionally opening up to specifically Eon, and of course the one person she trusts and opens up to was something pretty scary and dark. I mean, like Ramsay knew as well.
Yeah.
But she was like kind of almost using Ramsay, right? Like she was telling Ramsay so that he could help her.
Yeah.
She was telling Eon for the sake of telling Eon.
Yeah.
For connecting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good art. That was a really good RP too.
So again, like I said, just the simple fact is Rhaenyra just sat down.
Yeah, Loren had kind of told me beforehand, like he was like, something's gonna happen, so if there's something you want to prepare to speak about. And like you had said something, you were like, don't do anything to the body, okay? So essentially like, don't be like Rhaenyra and do something. So that's what I kind of like thought about. I'm like, what would she say? I was like, you know what, she probably wouldn't say anything, but it's not like she wouldn't do anything either.
Yeah.
You know, and again, like for the sake of like Sola and respect for Sola, like she chose not to be Rhaenyra essentially.
Yeah, right.
That was so powerful. Like I like, yeah, that like was a moment where I was just like, oh.
Well, Loren built in backups too, because the message I got was, get the body right away.
If Rhaenyra tries to do anything, get her screen. You attack Rhaenyra if she tries to do something.
I had my piece that I wanted to make sure
I
happened.
just left because get the body right away. Okay. On it.
How you respond to that text says a lot about your relationship.
Yes, Sola.
Are you writers or D&D players or murderers? We'll never know.
All of the above.
Yeah, and so about the sending off Lelea too.
Yeah, I loved that.
Yeah,
Loved that.
So what I really wanted to make sure was that we saw two sides of death. In that Sola sending off someone she cared deeply for, and the kindness and compassion in that immediately juxtaposed with just like wrath of someone she hated, and the complete different send-off that other character would get, and so I'm glad that everybody did get to also say their piece too in it, but then to be able to like finish it off with the sort of wrathful side of Sola coming out, and
Well, what I loved is that everything that Sola was told, not to be. And what to be was everything in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
You helped in the biggest way you could ever help. And you burned to like the biblical sunderment that you could possibly do to something. You were both the, epitome of kind, caring, like, disciple of life Thirtida to fuck with me and watch what happens. Scary moment of just like, oh. But like
Yeah, I'm so
like,
bad.
that's where
I'm a bad girl.
I love watching it, but it's old on the heart, and
Yeah.
but at the same time, I was just like, that's what when you kind of asked, and I just Ramsey looked at you and just burn her, because that's just he was. If he could have, he would have. And I just it was just the fact that like she could go from one, like you saw Sola at her hole, and the fact that everything she was told not to be is what guaranteed this never happens again. Just how I.
Yeah, of course.
But,
Yeah, of course.
Interesting.
It's kind of weird what we all just said in the last little bit though. Like essentially that Eon's death like physically and mentally physically like changed every single character.
Yeah.
Like we
Same
reacted
forward.
in ways that we had never reacted to anything before.
Yeah.
And like we've talked a lot about all of us too, but like you mentioned too that Scree is also gonna feel really affected too.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's something
That's gonna be a
that
unique one.
Yeah.
Yeah, like none of us felt the way that you feel. Like it.
Yeah. Well, I know, like, when it happened, I was like, as a player, I was like, fuck. Like, Eon literally just died to save me. And I was just like, I just felt, like, so guilty. And then Janelle gets up from the table, I'm like, fuck, this is really happening.
It was like they dropped you.
Yeah.
Eon, who had just repositioned herself and hid,
Yeah.
used Featherfall
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
To
and was
save
loud
me,
enough to
Yeah.
not
Draw
pass
the
like-
attention.
Yeah, they have very high passive perceptions.
Right.
It was not
For sure.
hard.
And you were saying like if Scree didn't if Eon hadn't like saved Scree, like Scree would have taken like heavy damage.
I
and
probably
stuff,
would
right?
have
Yeah.
been.
Yeah, it would have been like force
You-
damage.
Potentially, you would have been unconscious
Yeah.
from the fall,
Yeah.
but like
I could have rolled.
it would have been a chance of the dice
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, because I was already like low, and then falling from whatever.
60 feet
Yeah,
would have been
pretty high.
rough.
yeah.
It did work out really well though, because I was actually trying to find a reason to get within range so that I could use Featherfall if we needed it,
Mm-hmm.
but I couldn't get any closer to the dragon because I was afraid.
Yeah.
And so
Oh yeah, you were afraid.
Yeah. And so,
Right.
I was actually having a really hard time because I was trying to find a way to come and help you. Like, I had different things I could be doing and I couldn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, it ended up working out pretty well because they came in to try and kill me and Doric, and then that was just within range.
Yeah.
So, it ended up working out.
Yeah, because I was grappled too. Like I
Yeah.
couldn't have done anything. Right?
Yeah, and then he just went.
And then just dropped me. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's so interesting that as a game mechanic, frightened the effect also, and you imagine like a character being affected by frightened, but also like the way that plays out in a storytelling sense, in that you are frightened, but trying to find ways to overcome that fear to still be effective and help. And in a way, Eon did do that. She didn't make a save, but overcame
Yeah.
fear to act to save the Scree.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's the weird thing, though. Probably what Darryl's feeling is like the guilt part with me, because I remember we went out to dinner. We were just like going over it, and I was like, "Here's the thing, though," because I remember when you were rolling that damage, I was like peeking at Loren's screen. I saw 13 HP. I'm like, "Fucking hell!" I was, but then like because I'm like, I was like, "Fuck." Well, if I got closer, I was like, "Nope," because the HP that like what he rolled was higher than her HP. So even if I healed her, I was like, "What could we have?"
It was
right?
the fact that like it went so. It was because of the spell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fact that like
there's no body left even. Like
it is. Disintegrate does a ton of damage, yes, but the kicker is that last sentence in that description.
Yeah,
That if it drops you to 0 hit points,
you're gone.
you know that, like, and that's like as you know, like as a DM, I was watching, going, okay, well she's unconscious, and then it like, I looked at you. And then it clicked in my brain, and I went, and
Yeah, because I was just like, no emotion, like,
I just
we are
like,
now in endgame, folks.
Yeah.
I could be killing everyone by the end of this encounter.
Right.
like I looked at you and I went, oh no, like I you know, like I'm just looking at your sheet. I'm like, oh no.
I think we probably had that
You
same
literally
moment
were
when I looked at
saying that out
Loren's.
loud, and I was just like, I already knew.
Yeah, I was like, it was all just rolling through my head. And I'm figuring it out, going, oh.
Yeah, I knew before you rolled it. Like you said, yeah.
Yeah, like, well,
I know it was done.
you had like, yes, I was thinking unconscious, but then and then it's just I'm like, and I'm immediately going into crisis mode. Like, okay, how can we get you or you over here? And then
Yeah.
doesn't.
What could we have done?
And even
Too late.
I was in like also like crisis stress mode, and it didn't click with me that it was disintegrate.
Yeah.
And so I was like scrolling through my spells.
What
like,
can I do?
What am I gonna do to respond to this?
Right.
And only after when like the dragon and the Lulea were being killed and the combat was ending, that it really like started to sink in. Like, wait, no, there's not actually anything I can do at this point.
There's 3 things, and we do not have access to.
We don't have
any.
Any of it.
Like it's one of those things where it's like it was a gamble for Lilea to choose that as her like 6th level to try and take you on.
You said that was it for her too. Like
that's
she
the
was
only
tapped.
that's the only 6th level she had. She casted it once on Doric and then regained the spell slot using a special separate feature.
Right.
And then was able to twin spell it.
Yeah, because that's right. Because she hit Doric at the same time.
Yeah.
And he just
He saved.
saved.
Yeah, he
But
saved.
it's
I rolled really poorly.
It's a dex save, right? Like it is
Yeah.
the one save that like everyone at this not everybody.
Then we had
but
advantages on.
most of you would have been pretty good at.
Yeah, no,
That
but
saving
for
from?
like for Eon or for
And
Sola,
Sola,
like death
Yeah.
saves are like our
Rough.
death knell.
Yeah.
Quite literally in this case.
Yeah.
Still not as bad as DK.
But yeah, so like
low bar.
Hey, shoot for the curve. Everything above her is gravy.
Curb should not be 8 HP. That's like it's a gravel road.
I still remember the day we figured out that I could not miss.
Yeah.
I think the only thing we could have done differently is that we should have killed the dragon earlier. You know what I mean? Like that's and like literally when I was looking like the how to kill a dragon, like you just said, I was like everything. Like we don't have this. We can, like spellcasters don't have this. I don't have this. We don't have this. And I'm like, okay, right? And like I told Josie in retrospect, I'm like, how I played my game plan was exactly how I wanted to play it. Like how I ended up bringing the dragon down. Like that, and I saved the spell slots, like my highest spell slots for guided strike and everything. Like it played exactly how I wanted it to, but it didn't end how I wanted it to. Because I'm like, so then I said to Josie, I'm like, the only thing I could have done better was that first command that I rolled. Then it would have brought them down right away, right?
Like my whole game plan going into it too was like, okay, if they're set because they were separated,
for a little bit. Yeah.
get her, kill. Like, I know I could eviscerate her quick.
It would not have been like hard.
Yeah, like that was my thing. Like I just needed to get a hand on her.
Yeah.
And the fact that I went from building to building to building to ground to like just
And the
Misty
one
step.
opportunity you had when you had her pinned in the
Whiffed.
corner there,
Yeah.
you happened to whiff, and that was just the way the dice rolled. Yeah.
Whiffed on Grimspitter, then whiffed on Lilea. Like they're
And they just flew back. Yeah.
and like
She
that was enough for
immediately
them
went,
to bye. Don't you
Doric
fly
would have
now?
been able to like dimension door you onto his back or something.
He did. That's how it
Yeah.
happened in the end. Whereas I
Yeah.
got up there,
Right.
she commanded
Right.
it to come over, and I just hit it. And as soon as I did, Sentinel kicks in and can't move no more.
Yeah.
So
But
down he went.
Could have been different, but there's things you guys know now for like future encounters, and like this is very much like a dragon encounter where you did not have a lot of preparation, and moving forward, it's like the whole Swords Ghost is now activated.
Yeah, everybody knows what the hell's happening.
Yeah, so like there's going to be not even just like a montage of you guys like doing stuff. It's
Yeah.
like there's going to be they're bringing in experts and like intelligent people trying to figure out what is the like best way to arm ourselves against the threat and what is needed for that. So we might be looking at mounts.
Ooh.
You guys are
Scree
interested?
on a horse.
Or a griffin.
Oh,
Ooh.
Flying now?
even better.
Griffin.
That's the what Waterdeep has is all like flying mounts and griffins and stuff. So that would be
Bird on a griffin?
I love that thing. It's like
We both
Dragon
caw.
on a griffin? Dragon on a griffin?
Yeah.
all I can envision is like hearing Christ, what's that Zeppelin song? The immigrant song. Yeah, and just
That's
like
not the immigrant
scream.
song.
No.
Yeah.
Just scream coming through the sky.
You were singing a whole lot of love.
Yeah. I messed it up.
That's Doric Sola kind of song.
I got there.
Oh my
I got there.
I loved that.
I got there.
Those moments.
There were a lot of good moments. Still kind of hurts.
Mm-hmm. Rest in
Yeah,
peace.
you haven't yet actually watched
No.
any of those episodes yet. I think you've
No.
been avoiding it.
I haven't had.
I watched the raw footage just because if I was gonna post any previews, but tomorrow, well, we'll see. We'll post tomorrow.
My anxiety would not let me not watch them. I rewatched them multiple times.
Yeah, me
So it was like I need to recheck
Yeah.
that everything I did from a DM perspective was kosher. I was like doing that thing like, am I being ethical?
I can't bring myself to watch it just for the fact like I still part of me blames myself for it.
I feel that.
So
Right.
like, and it's
I think that
Natural
all
20s.
the
You were
characters
killing it.
Yeah.
have some of that. That's true. Yeah.
And just all of the things leading up to it, like the last 12 hours, 24 hours of moments, of Eon moments. Like it's just like you can't script this stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just like it all fell into place so nicely.
I wouldn't even just say that like everything. You can't script it. Like moments that we've all had. Like you two like clockworking together. And like the confessional between you two and just the night of the dolphin.
Yeah.
Forever remember.
You know? Like it's just there's just stuff that like you cannot.
But even like you and I didn't plan a rivalry.
No.
I mean, like Amy and Darryll kind of have one in real life. Yeah. But it's like, but even like Scree and Rhaenyra's friendship, like we never planned that.
No, it just
we ended up like having partnered up for night watches, and then
Yeah.
these weird things started happening every
Yeah.
time because of our characters.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
You guys are great RPers, so yeah.
like, I will forever
fantastic,
remember
man.
the bugs.
Mm-hmm.
What?
The bugs.
The bugs. What's the bugs?
When you were all grumpy, you stormed off and you were just picking up bugs.
Picking legs off bugs.
Right, yeah.
So like it's that whole moment where it was just like that's really where it started for me. That whole protege.
Like the Ramsay,
Yeah,
Eon.
like it was like, are you okay?
Yeah.
Don't do it.
See, my whole like Rhaenyra and Scree thing when I was like, okay, like we're buddies and we're gonna be pals,
Yeah.
was when I was mad at you and
Yeah.
I was just like angrily staring at you, and then you were like, Scree just joins in, and Scree had no idea about anything. We filmed that RP privately. Kenny had no idea.
That's so funny.
But Kenny had my back, so I was like, okay, this is for real, forever.
And the whole time someone's trying to make fart jokes. And it was just like,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
So
the never
funny.
extreme
Yeah.
fart jokes.
I loved that so much. So much.
Well, it's been a slice.
It has been.
Well, new journey.
Do I don't have anything but to Eon.
Yeah.
Good. To Eon.
Yeah.
They should burn forever.
May she burn happily forever.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fiery pits of blood.
Yeah.
And be brought back soon.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, this is another good point. Fiery pits of blood. You guys kind of know. Pits of blood seems to be a
Significant.
significant source of power maybe for
interesting.
certain groups of people.
He's giving us a hint.
Yeah.
Where else have you seen pools of blood? I wonder. Oh, it's so far back. I'm being very mean to you guys. On the travel to Forest Edge, you came across a tiny, tiny village that had been completely destroyed
I also got eaten.
with a large amount of pooled blood in the middle as a devourer, large, like kind of spindly creature destroyed it. Things have been happening.
Gee, like it's a story set out before us.
I love it.
I feel like Josiah, I hope you feel like you get enough credit, like with what you just said.
Yeah.
Is that because when things are just like so intentional, like I can't imagine how much like time and effort you've put into that. And like because we are good friends in real life, like we've been friends for years, and you know, like before when you were like hinting my backstory and nobody, not even Darryll knew, and I was like, hey, you motherfucker! I was like, you know exactly. I was like, you know who I am as a person, and then everyone was just like looking, and I was like he.
Oh man.
It's really cool that we're starting to get some of your backstory. We still know next to nothing
About Scree.
Yeah, me and Darryll talk about it on the rides over or rides home a lot too. How like the anchor, like the triangle, you know, the backstories of the triangle have kind of pushed us after Waterdeep, and I think I think with mine, I think mine is still a few levels away, just based on what I've revealed so far. I don't think we are quite advanced enough to fight what I think this is going to develop into.
Well, and I know like there's still open plots for even you still. Like there's still like who the fuck was that prick in your dreams?
Yeah, I feel like we're getting
Dream sequence, guys. Darryll had one over these episodes.
Yes.
Sola had one over these episodes. Eon,
Yeah.
I think had one over these episodes.
Rainier and Scree don't dream.
Actually,
We just pure sleep.
Yeah.
Scree sleeps with their eyes open. Every once in a while, it's just that.
yeah.
That's when we know he's asleep.
Staring off into like.
Yeah, where they're going. Just start drifting.
Well, good night, everybody.
You're a distant call.
Yeah, that's relaxing now.
You know, another funny actually thing about my backstory. So like months ago, like this might have been like a year ago, when like I really got like my backstory down. I was like texting it to Josie, and I was like, okay, like it's kind of inspired by House of the Dragon, but then I really went off on like my own inspiration. And then he was like, well, because he, you know, he's dropping these hints, and he's like, the one thing I'll tell you, you know, so that's when I learned about the Tempest, so I knew about that. But then he was also like, there's spies that are like watching you, and I was like, he's like, I'll tell you one thing, like it's not Darryll. He's like, you two are too close of friends. I don't think Darryll could keep it a secret. I was like, I swear to God, the Groffs and the Sandbows. I swear to God. This was like all capital letters in text. I was like, it's one of them. It's one of them.
A spy?
Yeah, but like it's spies like in general, right? But like I was like, it's Dar. It's fucking Dar. I was like, it's fried chicken tonight. I swear to fuck. I was like, he's dead. He is dead tomorrow. I still haven't let that go because you're like, yeah, well, Janelle's prepared a character.
It's still a thing.
But then, because he was like, yeah, he's like, I'm not really like super proud of like the intro's not super creative, and I was like, I swear, if she's a spy, she's dead tomorrow. She is dead.
How would you know if I was?
Yeah.
I'm a charisma character.
What's if we keep going back and forth, and we're like, we know
It's
them as
the
people.
angry.
Good luck inside.
Yeah.
Good luck inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still
Wait till you
suspicious.
see my
Yeah, but
perfect stats.
It's actually crazy. I don't know. You probably don't want to get into it, but looking at your character, I was kind of like, this is actually really neat
This is
and like
stupid character.
well played. Yeah. It's,
What's your
it's
worst
stupid.
stat?
Probably.
You actually didn't roll
We
very
rolled
well
them
at all.
together.
Yeah.
Their stats weren't
I'm
amazing.
probably strengths.
Really?
I think the highest you rolled was what, 15 or 16?
No, 14.
14.
14.
Wow.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. But
we'll be the two like pure level 10 characters then. That won't be the only like pure blood anymore.
well, yeah. Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. You were all like halvesies.
Sort of.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Okay, on that note, because I wish I could tell you all about my awesome new character, but we'll get there. The next time we do this, it will be all about everyone's backstories, because they'll all be revealed by that point.
It's really up to him, really. I was like,
The next 10
Things will
10
progress.
yeah.
Yeah,
You guys do it slowly, so in 12 episodes, you
Yeah.
have something to look at.
Next year.
I feel like we've had lots of Sola and lots of Two Hills,
Yep.
and
Yep.
so like I'm actually super excited to see other people.
It's gonna be yeah. That was kind of like the end of like that kind of characters focused arc. The next
Yeah.
one's gonna be much wider. It won't be as like maybe intentional or obvious where
Okay.
people's backstories or things that are popping up. But it will still be a lot of fun in just a little bit of a different way. I'm excited.
Sweet.
I hate.
Choices.
Gonna get political, y'all.
Oh, fuck.
Me too. Especially when I get to be all the people talking.
Word.
Well, should we call her for
Yeah,
this one?
sign off.
It's been a fun 2 years.
It
Yeah.
has.
Are we 2 years
We're
in?
very close.
Almost.
It's in
For me, it'd be 2 years in July because I joined in the summer.
Yeah, and the rest of us
Yeah.
started
April.
Yeah.
So
So
for
it's 2
It was
years.
like the
years.
last, somewhere in like the 20, like 10
Next
days of
week
20 to
something,
30, somewhere in there. I can't remember. I think it's like the 25th is our date
It's crazy.
for 2 years.
We have played together most weeks. Like we've missed
yeah,
a
Majority.
we've missed very few.
Yeah.
Just like Christmas we miss
Yeah.
and yeah.
And then a couple of weeks here with holidays every once in a while. But
Jesus.
And we all have like full-time jobs or full-time
Yeah.
students.
Or both.
We have people to take care of.
kids, cats, commitments.
Oh,
Kids, cats, and commitments.
Cafes.
All with K's.
It's not with all kids.
Case. That's not Swayze cookie cool.
Almost nothing.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
that.
But we've had 63 sessions together.
Wow.
Some of them longer than others. So that number could probably be up a little higher. But
That's crazy.
I'm excited to hit 100.
Yeah.
oh, did I ever respond on that poll?
No, and you need to. But
Motherfucker.
digress. It does not matter. You don't even know about the scheduling
Yeah.
issues.
Right.
That's
Happens to us too. We're not immune.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it for our cozy selves. I am judging those of you who did not choose a blanket. They were offered.
It's so cozy.
Comfort blanket.
I had one. I got too warm.
I'm dragon.
It's pretty warm now. Yeah.
You're wearing a sweater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm dragon blooded. I have black blood. It's like, fine.
Dog.
Yeah. The two animals. I guess you're an animal.
You have hollow
We
bones.
have
you
feathers
don't
though, you know, for
Penguins.
How do we
cold.
sign it off? You have to do it.
Lauren was the host.
I guess so. All right. Well,
Bye. Say goodbye.
yeah.
Bye,
Thank you,
baby.
everybody, for joining us tonight, and we're looking
Bye,
forward to
howdy.
seeing you next week.
Bye, howdy.
We love you all.
Bye, howdy.
And hi, hey, hello.